With everything front-facing sonar, all the hate, all the animosity, all the negativity, we're gonna try to keep things positive. We're gonna go old school tonight. So it should be fun. I got a surprise. I got a surprise guest. Guest knows what's about to happen tonight. So we're just gonna bring him in and get into it.
No.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Cool. I gotta mute this thing over here. Cool. Cool.
What you got? What you got scheming up tonight?
Well, I wanted to get your thoughts on favorite jig heads for hanging a minnow for front-facing sonar.
Oh, perfect. Perfect. Arky.
It's an like a 3/4 ounce Arky.
I prefer half. Or I kind of like the 7/8 and like getting into the 16ths for that.
15/16.
Yeah, like a 9/16.
Well,
That's how I'd usually do my Minorin.
Minern.
Yeah.
Okay, we gotta back up here. Man, I didn't really set up this live. I did a horrible job.
You were too busy eating your delicious chicken. You didn't want to put it down.
We had cooked dinner. I was listening to a tense family game of Skippo.
Never heard of that game.
It's a card game.
Ah.
But it was I had to bail.
Because you were losing or because you had to do this?
Because we had to come down here, and that's why we were coming in hot. Oh, Dawson Taylor's not at the juice factory. He's upgraded his active target 2 to a 12-inch unit instead of a 9. He'll be doing that as he watches.
As he watches.
Andrew said, just because you mentioned old school fishing. Well, all right. So here's the deal. I was hanging on a Whatnot last weekend in the raid train, and some guy decided to spice things up, and he did a card break, which is super like normal for like hockey cards and baseball cards and football cards. But he did a card break with old school bass fishing cards.
Whoa! I didn't know those still existed. Like, I didn't know they ever existed in a pack.
Yeah. So I bought in on the first break, so I'll share what cards I have here. But I also maybe in that time got my own box to share.
Whoa.
But instead of doing a Whatnot stream, I thought we would go through them and reminisce over some of these anglers. And I thought, who would be good to? I mean, yeah, sure, we can all talk about
know any of these people.
But like, let's pick TK's brain. TK's mind needs to like scratch that itch back and talk about fishing days of the 80s and 90s. So, and I thought I would come up with a way to give them away. And so I think what I'm going to do is do live, either like random draws, or I'll pre-pick them in 10s, and then somebody can pick what lot they want. But you have to be a member to enter. So it'll be for the Visor Gang, and basically you'll pick your lot, and then TK and I will reminisce and TK your lot, and then we'll pack it up and I'll send it out to you. I don't know. Do people think that's cool? I don't know. That's my idea.
Depends on who you get.
So you're gonna have you better tell Amy to get her burner account so she can enter on your behalf. So you can double down.
I was looking for mine. I used to have a random one.
So I also have. Actually, I jumped on.
And I'm curious as to what brand it was. If it was,
I have a 2023 Matty Wong signed card.
Does he give those out?
He had a buddy or a fan print like 30 of them.
So
I have one of 30 Matty Wongs. So let's just start with what I got in my.
He's still thinking about that fish he lost.
That
he didn't shake, or that he shook off.
So the cards I have are from the 1991. So I ended up with both the checklists, and so there's 100 cards. There's 92 there's 90 cards in the set in 1991. So I got the 2 checklists, which are just like pictures, but they got everybody's name. They don't really show up that great, but little fine print there. So in my 6-card lot, let's see how I did. So it was basically 90 cards. So he did 15 6-card breaks, and I think you could. I think the bid started at $5, and I think I got the first lot for like $7. So first card is a Mega Man card, Larry Nixon.
How was his unibrow at that point? Was that when it was like solid?
So
I feel like he fished the best in that era.
I don't know. I'll have to. Come on. I don't know if my camera's not really wanting to focus there on the old unibrow. My TikTok light's not been working all that great lately, so. Oh. Maybe I got her fired up now. Maybe we'll get more detail with a little light behind the camera here.
Gotta check those brows.
There you go. I feel like they were plucked for this photo shoot.
Yeah, they're pretty decent separation.
All right, and then I got this guy.
A pretty decent angler.
I mean, he was all right. And we lost our light again. They have stats in all of it. Like, let's see what the fun. The Larry Nixon. He's a 3-time Megabass champion. I might have to get some readers. Rick Clun. There's a fun fact. Largemouth fast facts. Largest bass, 1315 on a plastic worm. Alabama. Favorite lake? Lake Powell, Arizona. Top technique, speed cranking, high speed, stop and go.
I still don't think enough people do that.
So his recent tournament performances were first in the 90 Bassmasters Classic on the James River, first in the 91 Missouri Invitational at Truman, and third in the 91 Bass Invitational standings. Sparkle Scales was one of his sponsors at the time.
Sparkle Scales?
Sparkle Scales.
I think that's one thing history has taught us about bass fishing is that a bass fisherman will promote anything.
Hella and the Painter Dude. Yes, Marty. We're talking legend here. All right. So card number 3 of my 6. A 1 Guido Hibden.
Ooh.
Did you ever fish a Guido bug back in the day?
I never got into it, no. And the main reason was it would have required me to order them from a Bass Pro Shops catalog. And at the time they were popular, I didn't have like a credit card and I wasn't going to ask my parents to like order me something like Guido bugs. So nobody had them in like the stores down here. So it just slipped through the cracks.
The other TK,
No.
Imposter, wants to know what a signed Doug Hannon card from the late 1980s would be worth. I don't know. So some of these cards actually do fetch decent money on eBay. Like a lot of them go for $10-$20. Some of them go for $100, $150.
Who goes for 150?
Like a KVD rookie or something like that. Or,
I feel like I've got some of these in a stack somewhere.
Did you check the spokes of your bike? Is that where you left them?
No, they're actually at my parents' house under my bed in a like trunk, and I got them they weren't like this. They were like the promo cards from the Bassmaster Classic from '99, and it was all the ones they like hand out to you.
Yeah, my dad and I crushed on Guido bugs. I don't know. We'll see if there's a Mike Long card. The Mole has some giant Guido bug knockoffs. Yeah, I didn't look up paid or won auctions, but all right. So card number 4 in my 6-card lot. Shaw Grigsby Jr.
I mean, were there any commons?
Yeah, there were.
Were
Yeah,
there?
we'll see that when we get into this other pack. There'll be. I feel like I got a pretty decent 6 cards. George Perry,
Whoa.
the spoon plug, the father of deep fishing. He's basically the reason for front-facing sonar. It's George Perry's fault when you think about it.
Who's the guy that caught the world record?
Wait, listen, that's who this is. No, I was thinking Buck Perry.
Buck
That's
Perry is the spoon
sorry,
plugger.
this is George
George
Perry.
is
You're
the
right.
world record holder.
This is the fraudulent
Yeah,
world
I was about to
record
say,
holder.
send that to Ken Duke so he can
Yes. Tag Ken Duke and let's get his thoughts.
he can
Maybe I should send this one to Ken Duke.
send it to Ken and he can burn it on Bass After Dark.
Yeah. All right. But still, I think that's a pretty interesting card, probably from that set. He was a 19-year-old farmer who had become the family breadwinner following the death of his father.
Had to make money somehow.
He even mentioned Bob's Croupy 2201 on the back of this card. All right. And then, do you know who that is?
By the picture?
Yeah.
Uh,
It's obviously young in this photo.
I mean, it looks like he could be like a Mark Davis or somebody like that. Bill Dance.
It's a young Bill Dance.
He
First
he
for a
was
legend.
he
This
was
is Bill
husky.
Dance's first fish. His first largemouth. That's a picture supposedly of Bill Dance's first largemouth bass.
Huh. I guess he had him for dinner.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe it says I grew up fishing the creeks, caught a few smallmouth, but never a largemouth. I went to a lake called Cumberland Springs with my grandfather since we usually fish the creeks. Going to the lake was a big doings without a G. I saw 2 fish swimming parallel and threw a frog back jitterbug to them. At the time, I owned 3 plugs, a Dalton Special, a Hula Dancer, and a jitterbug. Carried them in a plain old sack. The biggest of the 2 made a turn and came back for the bait. In the clear water, I actually saw him hit the plug. I reeled him in about halfway, but finally I got so excited, I just threw the rod up in the air, grabbed the line, and roped him to the bank.
Roped him. He still ropes him, dude.
Bill Dance was born looking 55. So that's my cards. So my idea here, hopefully people are interested. I guess maybe we'll just put up the YouTube chat. We'll see how this goes here. I'll try a poll.
What does has anybody ever done a fishing card whatnot stream?
That's the thing. So I guess that guy did that, and he sold these as
Warren?
breaks. That's the only one I'm aware of. I thought about doing it, but I thought it'd be more fun for this one, especially because this one I think technically is an open box.
Right.
I think if you're going to do breaks, you technically need a sealed box.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought we would try this a little different and see what the level of interest is. It's about a 2/3 yes, 1/3 no. So I guess just I don't know. Any I mean Bill Dance. These are all like I feel like there's no like these are all pretty well known cards, right? Any comments on Shaw before we move on to some other things I want to show before we get into the cards? Like maybe favorite Shaw tournament?
Ooh, Shaw tournament. I heard a story recently that he caught in the last 10 years, he caught a 16-pounder down in South Florida.
There you go.
That I don't know ever saw the light of day, which surprised me.
Of the I guess of these 5, Bill Dance, Shaw Grigsby, the Mega Man, Larry Nixon, Guido Hebden, And Rick Clunn, who would you want to fish with the most, assuming they were all still alive? Rest in peace, Guido Hibden.
It'd have to be Bill Dance.
Yeah.
So I could blast him on all the bullshit he sold me back when I was a kid. And I would take all my old tackle from back then and be like, here, catch him on this stuff. And he'd be like, okay.
I think if I had to put them in order, it would be Nixon, Guido, Clunn, Bill, Shaw. For me.
Shaw would be fun to fish with.
I think I'll probably have Nixon on the show here, probably not too long.
That'd be fun.
Ed Cowan said he's fished with Shaw.
Did he have his red sinker on his pipe fishing
Do we get
boat?
to go to one of are we fishing public waters or are we fishing Bill Dance's ponds that he filmed all those shows on in the 90s?
I think you'd have to fish his private legs.
Okay.
That I didn't realize were private at the time. I just thought he was fishing some nice.
Yeah. That's all while we bought dancing craws and dancing eels and 3-foot-long booyah buzz baits. And
yeah, because I can do that at my river.
All right. So before we jump to these cards, so I saw this Whatnot stream where this guy was like blasting stuff out for $1. And so I guess one thing, I got this, I put it up on my TikTok, but I had this -1, which I know you're a huge fan of. This is a double fan, but it had the most hideous paint job on it. Like,
and you were able to clean it and salvage it?
I think so. Look,
You
let
did
me show
great.
you what it looked like. This
I
is,
actually, of all the 1-, the big one is passable. Oh wow, that is pretty horrific.
like 3-year-old finger paint.
Mm-hmm.
So I cleaned it up. That was kind of interesting. You like the big 1- in if you're gonna.
Yeah, if I had to pick one, it'd be the big one.
What else is in there? Oh yeah, got a wrister wrap, a thin wart, or whatever that. What was that thing? Fin. What do they call it?
What is it?
That
Yeah, it's a thin fin.
thin fin, right? So I got a little thin fin. Might have to little fisherman's paint on that one.
I always like seeing that kind of stuff.
But what got there? He was flipping through this thing of plastics, and I wouldn't have bid on it, but all I could see was an FLW logo on a bag.
Uh-oh.
And I didn't know what it was gonna be, but it came today.
Hula grubs.
Hula grub?
That's my. I'm betting hula grub.
I was hoping for a worm.
A worm would be great.
It was the lizards.
The lizards are good though. Not as good as the worm, but they're okay. It's good color. At least it's usable.
Yeah.
Is that like smoke blue?
Yeah. Like a smoke blue. They're made by Mans, evidently.
Yeah.
They kind of got that like man's tail on them. Like
Yeah, they got that big heavy tail.
A big auger tail. So it wasn't the worm. But I don't know if you've seen these. I thought these might interest you. So it's a Producto buzztail shad.
Are they short?
Huh?
Are they short? Oh yeah, that's awesome. That's perfect. It's like a fluke with a ultra vibe tail.
This is a swimming worm, huh?
That is a swimmer's worm. A man could swim that worm if he so chose.
In black. Would have been better if it was the classic black grape Producto, but
yes. Pretty old school if you're gonna go old school.
Maybe I'll send them back with some red chinless crankbait someday.
Oh yeah, send those things back. I sent your swimmer back.
Passed the smell test?
I took it. I took it with me on my road trip, and yeah, passed the test. Didn't even have to touch it.
All right, so only 56% people are interested in these bass cards, which I thought was interesting. All right, maybe we'll. If there's not that much interest, I was going to keep it to the members, but
yeah, don't blow those.
FLW shaky worm. Oh, Dustin said lizard. Oh, Hans says he loves the man's worm.
Man's made great stuff. I think Man's is up for sale right now if you're looking to buy it. If you're looking to get in the tackle industry, heavy.
Yeah, it doesn't cost you anything to hit the like button if you'd like to. So we see if anybody's actually watching over. Josh Heron, have you ever fished with the Big D Tony? I've heard he's the man. That was from Josh Heron.
Big D Tony. I haven't fished with. Oh, I have fished with BD Tony. He's a lot.
What derbs am I doing this year? I'm doing the Division 3 of the Bassmaster Opens and the Bassmaster Nation Invitational out of the Cross. Sponsored by Tacklecrafts. He's wrapping my boat.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually just going to wear a Scope or Die shirt as a jersey.
Yep. I'm going to go up there and airbrush his boat.
It's cheaper than a wrap.
It's quicker than a wrap. It's all I can afford, so. What is this? Margins on fishing tackle seem brutal.
There's the box. There is 100 cards in here. 2 of them are checklists. What do you think? So I could do like just pull out 10 stacks and then people could like if they won the giveaway, they could just pick 1 through 10 and then we would run through it. I could like just pull them out from the front, pull them out from the back in lots of 10. Let's hear some ideas in the chat of people that are interested in these cards.
I'm not good at things like that.
You're not? That's
not like
stops.
not thinking up creative ways to do things like that.
I did have some of these. Let's see here.
How many cards are in that box?
100.
It's a lot.
I was gonna look at some of the ones that are on eBay, maybe get people excited
that they might actually get something that's of value. Yeah. I mean, why don't the people that have interests or that don't have interest say that they don't care, and then you don't have to send something to somebody that's going to throw them.
Yeah, well, you would only enter the drawing if you're interested.
You know how that works.
I don't see any KVDs up on eBay right now.
I'm trying to think of somebody.
I mean, I think today, like, the Blockett's probably worth the most if there's a Blockett in here.
It's just, I don't see any Randy Blockett anything on Facebook.
Yeah, anyways.
There's 16 Mike Iaconelli bass fishing cards. I guess that's like the whole collection.
All right.
Birdie of the Lake is selling them, of course.
Brody Lake probably would sell his kidney. What? All right. StreamYard.
Let's see what's sold. There's a Bassmaster Classic qualifying set of cards.
I'm going to just because it's not an official break.
Were those listed in Beckett?
I don't think. I mean, the guy that was. I don't know how legit he knew about it. But I'm gonna kind of randomize them, slightly shuffle them.
Is
But
Beckett?
he thought you could actually get them graded.
Oh, really?
Some of them were worth something.
The Bill Dance kid card sold for $8. So there's somebody out there.
So I'm going to break them into piles of 10. There are some female anglers.
What was the lady's name from? We won't talk
like
about
Penny Berryman, Tina Outlaw.
Oh no. She fished with Pete Glusick at Lake Martin in a pro-am.
That one.
That one.
The one with the Adam's apple.
Yes, the one with the deep voice and high levels of testosterone. The Adam's apple. I have a picture of that angler. I posted it on my Instagram like 10 years ago, and nobody commented on it. I tagged Pete in it. I didn't even get a hit from Brian the Carpenter. Nothing.
So this is 92, 93. I don't know if there'll be a Kirchhoff here.
Did you collect cards when you were a kid?
Evidently, I messed up one of these, but I'm not recounting all these. So one of these stacks has 9 and one of them has 11.
That's okay.
I voted no and meant it. Sorry, Marty. Sorry that we are offending you, Marty.
Did you collect cards when you were a kid?
I've got some cards.
Yeah. Non-fishing?
Yeah, like me. It's a poor little swamp donkey that's just flying around over here. I feel like here's a 1989 Tops. There's with the gum in it. Feel that gum in that pack. Here's a 91 Upper Deck football pack. But I've got like some boxes of cards over there that I should probably do something with.
When do we start the auction for that? For you to chew that bubble gum out of that pack of cards?
Yu-Gi-Oh card when you were a kid. Chris McVeigh says he still collects Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I know Baxter and Baxter Jr., Bateman Jr. do some Pokemon stuff, I think.
Dude, I had boxes and boxes.
So Brian says he got 2 full box fish. One is gold and one is green. We're looking at the green box tonight.
Yeah,
Ben says he should be in 91. I don't. The guy went through the pack, and I don't recall it. So it's not every person that fished, and it's not. Yeah, we'll see. You'll see that there's not just like it's not like every angler. So this first one, I'm gonna open it to anybody that's watching. But when we get into some of these lots, I think I'm going to make them. If you're not a member and I pick your name, I'm just going to respin till a member comes up.
Seems fair.
So we will do lot 1. Go ahead, hashtag lot 1 if you're interested. Only enter hashtag lot 1 if you actually want to win a stack of 10 cards. I did pay money for these cards, and it's going to cost me about $4 a pop to ship them out. So
can't squeeze them in a stamped envelope.
Maybe. I guess it depends on like how valuable. I don't know, because like
they can potentially get bent then.
Right. So somebody actually wanted to. I mean, like if you're going to the Classic, there's potentially you could get a really cool card and run into that angler at the Classic and actually get it signed if anybody's interested.
I'm entering.
You should. I'll send you some Producto swimming worms with them. And just let the oil just drip all over the cards.
Perfect. I'm still looking for mine.
20 people in.
I'll be interested to see if you have the angler that is the card that I have floating around. The only reason I have it is somebody sent it to me randomly with a swim bait. They wanted me to paint their swim bait, and they threw in this angler's card. Maybe it was him. That would make sense, but
yeah, Stephanie, get it signed, and it would be cool. Well, it would be worth more. At least it'd be more interesting to have it. Yeah, I probably wouldn't put them in a QPS envelope. All right. I think we got 24, 72. So 60% of people said they're interested, but only 30% have gotten in the drawing. Maybe they're just interested in watching people get them. They're not actually interested in getting them themselves. All right, about ready to draw this to see who the first. Basically, if your name gets drawn, you'll get to pick 1 through 10, and then we'll go through the lot. I think I need to just make a little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, 10. Then I can write names. All right. Yeah, we will. So like and it might take a little while to get them out because I'll get some of the like sleeves like these ones came in to protect them reasonably well. All right, we'll draw this. Let's see. Percent chance. Basmanek has a Larry Nixon signed Stratus hat. Scott Vermontier. I don't know if Andrew got in time.
He was trying to slip in.
Most cards I buy, they envelope but stick them in a hard plastic cover. Yeah. We'll see. Maybe we'll figure it out. Scott, 1 through 10. Pick your lot, 1 through 10, Scott. LOP? P is not a number, Scott.
It's like a three cross between 3 and 5.
10, number 10. All right. So I'm going to pick number 10 here. All right. Actually, I want to write this down here. Scott. Dear. And I guess, obviously, if you win, you're going to have to follow up with me and get your address and things like that. So, Scott, your first card is Danny Correa from Massachusetts.
Thick accent.
Thick.
Speaking of Lake Martin, I think he was in that Lake Martin tournament with Pete.
I feel like Danny probably started as maybe a Federation guy, but then ended up in like the top 100s and things like that.
Yeah, I think he definitely was a Federation dude. Ed would know.
So you got height. He's 5'10", 165, age 31 at the time. Marlborough, Massachusetts. Favorite pro star, Larry Bird. Favorite angler, Rick Clunn. Danny made the Bass Classic in 1985 through the Federation ranks. Job before turning pro, computer instruction. He was number 87 in the deck. Some people remembering. Yeah. All right. So card number 2. This is a fun one. Ron Scherer, Kentucky.
I have never heard of that angler.
No? I feel
No.
like I've heard that.
Ron Scherer?
Hardin, Kentucky. 6'1", 200. What kind of frame is 6'1", 200?
Sounds like me. Do I look like this man? Is this my...
He was Pete Rose and Roland Martin was his favorite angler. Sponsors, he claims State of Kentucky was one of his sponsors. In 1972, Ron fished a club tourney and was hooked on competitive fishing therefore after, and was a farmer.
Is that why the state was the sponsor?
Maybe. Brian says Ron had an outdoor show as well. And a TV show.
Dude, those regional shows like back in the 90s, 80s were really good. Like, what's his name? O'Neal Williams.
Steve Daniels, Florida
Steve
pro.
Daniels, I guarantee you he lied about his height on that card. Because he's like 4'8".
First FLW Cup winner ever. He won the very first Forest Wood Cup. And I want to say he won like $17,000 when he won the first FLW Cup.
A whopping $17K.
Florida pro. My dad's actually fished with Steve Daniel before. I've met Steve. He actually did a radio show down in Florida too. His height is 5'5". That's probably pretty close.
That's probably pretty accurate. What's his weight say? $130?
135. Wife Debbie.
He did a day on the lake.
Guy. Love Choo Choo Customs was one of his sponsors. A member of Chattanooga's Harrison Bass Club, Steve won a Hungry Fisherman Tournament in 1981. Before going fishing pro, he was a Boilermaker.
He looks like it. Burning rods.
Scott wants me to give them to Caro.
He did a day on the lake on Lake Mitchell. That was one of the televised ones.
Ah.
It was pretty good.
Did they say it was Lake Mitchell, or did you just know it was Lake Mitchell?
No, they actually said in that one. It wasn't like Lake X or anything. They like showed what the lake was. It was actually Lynn Dollar like sent me all these random shows that came on ESPN, like besides Bassmasters. So when I would watch one of the DVDs after the Bassmaster tournament, there would be like a day on the lake or some like just bass fishing show.
Friday night tech party for fishing nerds. I think there was a Babe Winkleman card in the other night, so I wouldn't be surprised. All right. Should probably pick up the case here. Pace. Terry Baxay, Connecticut. This is a Northeast heavy lot here.
I feel like I've seen his name back on the roster. Like he was competing again. It might not have been him, but I have been seeing some of the old guard kind of
around. Like, I feel like he fished tournaments into the 2000s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he went FLW, didn't he?
Oh, superstar alert.
Uh-oh, that one's worth big coin.
There you go. Superstar Kevin VanDam, Angler of the Year card. That's probably his first ever Angler of the Year, I bet you. In just 2 years on the Bass circuit, Kevin has set a torrid pace with Rookie of the Year performance the first season and Angler of the Year as a sophomore. With his 358 pounds, 12 ounces, because they did it by total weight through the year, not points at that time. He outdistanced his hero and legend, Rick Clunn, that year. So this is commemorating his first ever Angler of the Year, which was one of 7? Something like that? I think so. There you go, Carol. Oh, a combo card. Wayne and Bob Zumi from Canada.
They had a TV show, right?
Yeah.
Or
A
one of
little
them
shout
did.
out for the Canadians. Frank, are you watching?
Frank.
Oh, father and son.
Ooh, the Hibdons.
Guido and Dion Hibden. Right, both classic winners. Is that right? Yep.
Yep.
Guido, one of the greatest sight fishermen ever. Both had pretty good, solid careers. MJ says Azumi is still a stud fishing. Yeah. Ed says he fished with Terry and his dad a lot. He guides on Candlewood still. Oh boy, Carol, there's another. Oh my goodness, Carol. There he is. Bill Dance,
Ooh.
Tennessee.
Cha-ching.
He could sell TK on any lure and have a young 14-year-old TK begging his mom and dad to take him
What?
to Walmart or anywhere to get.
What's in the corner? Is that a picture of a picture?
It is. I don't know.
It looks like
It's
a baby
weird because it's like
arm.
it isn't a strange. It's like a hand with a sandwich, and then his picture. I don't know. It's
Oh,
a
that's the
weird
one where he
card.
went underwater. It's like from his bloopers videos. The cover of
Oh,
his
yeah.
bloopers
So it's
video.
the picture above it, and then it's his hat coming out of the water with his sandwich.
Well, I don't want to tell you what it looks like from over here, all fuzzy. It doesn't look like a hand with a sandwich.
Okay. All right. Hank Parker, North Carolina, 2-time classic champ, spinnerbait, classic spinnerbait.
That's a good one.
He was probably my favorite angler as a kid.
Hank was good.
Yeah. So he would have won. He had not won his second classic at this time. He only had one classic. Right? Oh, wait. Was it 79 and 89 he won? Weren't they 10
Yeah,
years
I think he
apart?
did one. I think he did win one when he was real young, and then he won his next one in like 83
So this would be after the second one, I think.
or
There
something.
you go. Here's
No,
one of
that
the
was
female
Paul
anglers,
West.
Jeanette Story from Kentucky. I guess that would be the old one bass state, or not? Is that what they called it? No, not one bass. They called it Bass and Gals.
Passing gals, yeah. I don't know if that would fly these days.
In 1980, Jeanette's husband entered her in a Bass and Gal tournament. 2 years later, she won the Bass and Gal Classic.
She's a hammer.
Yeah, 5'3", 125, so pretty much the same as Steve Daniels.
Yeah.
And then,
wonder what she got paid for the Bass and Gals Classic.
yeah, the father, I guess one of the spook
Spook
fathers, right?
Man.
Charlie Campbell was a big Zero spook guy, right?
Yep. He even had his own signature spook.
Charlie also won the National Bass Federation tournament in 1974. And he was a basketball coach. Forsyth, Missouri. So that's lot number 10.
Pretty strong.
What? Blasphemy, Bass Pundit. Hank Parr's Southern Draw is like nails on a chalkboard. Dustin Taylor, Mrs. DT, fished a couple Bass and Gal tournaments. I saw the other deck the other day, there was a Chris Houston card.
Chris Houston. Jimmy's wife.
Carol's got a Hank Parker rod. Aaron's got a signed Terry Baxay card. All right. We're going to come back and do lot 2 in about 30 seconds.
Are you ready to reel in your next home purchase or refinance? Supreme Lending's Dream Team can help guide you through the entire mortgage process, from pre-qualification to closing. We have a wide variety of home loan programs in our tackle box, including down payment assistance and first-time homebuyer options. You can ask HellaBass. He trusted us to help finance his home. Contact the Dream Team today by searching Supreme Lending Dream Team, or click the link below in the description, or scan the QR code on your screen.
All right, we're back. Thanks to the Dream Team. As always. So Chris asked while we were gone, how many women have fished the Bassmaster Classic? And I believe it's 2. Pam Martin Wells and Kim Bain Moore. But didn't Pam actually make the day 3 cut?
Yeah, I think she actually was like competitive a little bit.
But like got to 24th, or I mean, she slid in. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just in time, Amy. Just in time.
She's in Dallas, I believe.
You missed lots of exciting card talk, Bobby.
Bobby needs to tune out for this. There might be like a woodbait card, and then he's going to go down the woodbait card wormhole.
Pam had she had the first limit on Bass Track in the Classic she fished. All right. So here's the idea. For lot 2, we're at least going to try this. If you're a member and you want the cards, that's going to be the criteria for this one. If you enter and you're not a member, I will respin. And we'll try, I don't know. If this fizzles out, it fizzles out. If not, then whatever. So lot 2, go ahead, enter it. Amy, TK definitely wants you to enter lot 2 as a member.
Erin, yes, she did date Andre Moore and then took his last name in marriage.
Date that guy. Yeah. Could make good money sending bait cards to Bobby Balso.
Need to take one, get you to send me a common one, then I'll just like scribble a little Bagley on one and be like, Bobby.
All right. So it looks like mostly members getting in here. So it looks like most people are following the instructions here. And if you're not a member and you think you'd be interested, there is a little button down there where you can hit join for $2.99 a month. You can get some other features and be in the drawing. I think there was some packs, but the one I had was like a full box set. But
Hell already took all the good ones out.
No, they're all here.
All those high money ones.
Well, I mean, in Carol's first lot, there was a Hank Parker, a Kevin VanDam, and a Rick Clunn. Yeah, so clearly I didn't take them out. All right. I mean, if it was Brendan, the mole, we'd expect it all be gone. All right. Looks like 11, 12. All right. We're going to draw this. See which member. It'll be to Amy for sure. 100%. Darius. Hopefully there's some topwater and Kentucky topwater and crankers in here.
He needs I'm trying to think who would be a Kentucky Lake angler from back then. Dan Moorhead wouldn't have been in there.
Yeah, so pick your number 1 through 9, Darius. I guess I'll turn this over. That'll be how I'm
trying to think who would have been the most famous Kentucky Lake pro from back then. I guess that Scherer guy.
Yeah, he missed out. Maybe Carol would trade you for that Ron Scherer, Darius. 9. All right, 9. Right off the bat, he gets an OT Fears from Oklahoma. Spinnerbait Fool. I feel like
Kicker
OT
blade
Fears,
guy.
one of those guys, was the original like orange kicker blade kind of guy.
Yeah. I think that tournament he won, it was like an open on the Red River.
Mm-hmm.
He was fishing that one oxbow, and he was throwing at the same tree for 3 days.
He's got a sweet Mariner patch on his jersey.
I think he was throwing a little scooper though. I heard he was
sponsored by Bagley back in the day.
I heard he could be not so pleasant on the water.
Interesting. He qualified through the Classic through the Federation ranks in 1983. Class. I mean, he had an amazing stash, though. I mean, all right. Another Ozark guy, Stacy King, known for his a jerkbait guy mostly. I mean, that's probably what I remember him mostly. But small jigs, Ozark. I mean, he's your classic Ozark guy. You a big Stacy King guy?
I do like Stacy King.
Yeah,
he's just so infectious with his positivity and like when he gets, you can tell he gets excited and just starts like talking fast, and he's just like seems like a genuine dude.
He was a Table Rock guide. His cousin.
I think he still guides. Darius, are you serious? Stacy King is your cousin?
All-American as well. Ooh, here's an interesting one.
Ooh.
Robert Hamilton.
20 feet deep.
20 feet deep, Dance with the Devil.
Jacked that card up in value.
Yeah. Won the Bassmaster Classic, and then had some weird things going in his life. Kind of got on a drug addiction and never. I mean, he's kind of popped his head up a few times, but it seems like things get the best of him over time.
Ed fished with OT, said it wasn't very memorable.
Maybe it was for him, Ed.
I talked to OT, and he said the best day he ever spent on the water was with Ed Cowan.
So he won the Classic after this. He made his first Classic in '89. He won the Ren Band Southeast Regional for $35,000. Before that, he was in the carpet business. Well, this is a special one, TK.
Oh, Uncle Stanley, Uncle Lonnie.
That's the Stanley Tackle Company, right?
That's him.
Lonnie? Yep. So, Fiber Shaft?
That's him.
So this guy is the mastermind behind your favorite spinnerbait.
He is. Wedge blade. Man, the ribbit.
Stanley jigs, Stanley spinnerbaits.
Had it all. Great company. They're still good, which he's not there anymore, but I ordered some jigs from them a couple years back. They had some like clearance jigs, and I ordered them. And they like wrote a note and like still put a little like sample of something in there, and it was like very, like you could tell, like mom and pop still.
Yeah, it says Lonnie won 6 tournaments in a row, 4 in 3 months, on a homemade jig in 1980-81.
I guess that's what made him make Stanley jigs.
Before that, a backhoe operator.
We met him, my dad and I met him at the Bassmaster Classic in New Orleans in '99. And him and my dad talked for like an hour trying to go through our family tree to see if there was a connection. And I swear, like, there was like a line of people to talk to Lonnie Stanley, and like him and my dad sat there and just like hee-hawed for an hour. It was forever. And I kept coming back and like, "Are you done?" He's like, "No." Nah.
You're like, I'm gonna go over here and look at these baits.
Yeah. I'm gonna go buy a $30 quantum rod.
I think this is the second card that I literally don't think I've heard of. Jeff Boyer from Washington.
I've heard of Jeff Boyer.
Okay. He was a host of a television series, Fishing the West. He won the 1985 Bass Western Regional to secure his first Classic appearance. He returned to the Classic again through the Federation in the 1990. You know Jeff, Ed? Ooh, here's a good one. Basil
Basil.
bacon.
Coffee
The
time.
bacon rind.
Did you hear that Mercer podcast with Davey
With Davey,
Height?
not recently, no.
Oh, he was talking about the bacon rind and when he won in New Orleans, and I didn't realize that he cut the flaps off the side.
Okay, here's one. Burma Thomas from Alabama. Another Bass and Gal. Ed did not know Jeff. Burma won a Bass and Gal tourney in her first year, 81, and the Classic in 82. Also 5'5", 125 like Steve Daniel. So Bassinek says him and Clausen were legends in the Northwest. What lures do you make, TK?
It goes and comes. Sometimes I make jigs. Sometimes I make spinner baits. Sometimes I make swim baits. Sometimes I just paint. It depends on what I'm in the mood for. Yeah. Sometimes I forge hooks. Just depends.
Carol Haygood from Florida.
Yeah, I would say, hey, good.
Got quite the mustache on him.
Great stash.
That is a solid.
That card's worth $3 just for the
His
stash.
hat says Cuckoo Plastic Worms. Kookoo. Cuckoo Worms. Lockjaw was a sponsor. Bagley. Assassinator Spinnerbaits.
That's aggressive.
Carol won the Yamaha Big Bass Award in 86 with 2 12-pounders and a 10-pounder.
Wow.
Big Bass specialists.
Dragger.
All right. Larry Hopper from California.
I don't know, Hopper.
Me neither. He won a Western Bass event on Lake Roosevelt in 76.
Before my time.
We got another solid stash. A Doug Youngblood out of Georgia.
Doug Youngblood.
First
I feel like
class
he did.
in 88, which brought him the financial support he needed to pursue a career. Before that, he was a UPS driver. He's basically a young Keith Carson. Laying the wood, Haygood. Anthony Geis says.
Darius got hosed.
All right. Yeah, they're all the same age. They're basically your peers, Darius.
Darius
enjoy your
clubs with all these guys.
All right. While I prepare this, I should mention that, as usual, the live stream is presented by Arsenal Fishing and boosted by Powerhouse Lithium. So let's do another member lot. Lot 3, if you want to get in for the members and you want to... I mean, most of these guys have socks older than you, Brown Bait Company. Let's be honest.
All these guys were dead when I was born.
That's not true.
I will, but I think this is the era from when my card. Let me look and see if I can find it.
I mean, they only did these cards for like 2 or 3 seasons. We're losing interest. Only 8 people got in this time. Amy, did you get in? I don't think Amy's paying attention. This is just like a Jeff You're not a member, so you're not eligible this time. But we'll probably do some open ones here. We'll probably mix it up, members and. Oh, we found his cards.
No, I didn't find the right ones.
All right, we'll save those. We're going to draw this one here. The interest is waning.
Less and less people want the cards.
Yeah, only 9 people got it this time. And Amy didn't get in. So Chris McVeigh, he's a member. He's a recent member. Congratulations. Chris, what lot would you like? Darius says he's bound out to let somebody else win. I could save on shipping if you got in and you won again, though, Darius. I do have an idea here how I could spice this up just a touch, though. Maybe.
Maybe they like my cards more.
He wants number 2. Let me just... I think I could... All right, number 2. Ooh. Right off the top, he's got a Texas angler, good old Randy Dearman.
Old Dearman was a stud.
See, I can just give away 5 memberships, and then they'll give somebody else a chance. Kyle Downey, Jeremy Huff, Chris Turner, Patrick Griffin, and Everett, who was previously a member. I feel like Kyle might have been a member. So Randy Dearman, Texas guy. I don't know. I know the name. I definitely recognize it. I don't know that I have like any fun facts about Randy Dearman.
I guarantee you threw a Carolina rig.
Livingston, Texas. He was a guide for 6 years. He made the Classic in his second season in 1984. All right. Here's one. Pat Donahoe, Nevada. I guess Phoenix Rods was a thing back then because it was a sponsor. I didn't know Phoenix Rod has been around that long. He won 3 tournaments in 1986. The U.S. Bass Open on Mead, a Redmond on Havasu, and a West Coast Bass on Mead. He was a casino dealer before that.
I think he's probably pretty good if he won the Open on Mead.
Oh, here we go.
Uh-oh.
Chris McVeigh. Larry Nixon, Mega 4, 4-time Mega Bass champion. Kind of a special card there. This season, Larry rewrote the record books with a 3-peat performance that gave him 3 Mega Bass titles in a row and 4 for his career. The most recent occurred at Chickamauga and involved a toe-to-toe struggle between Nixon and 4-time Classic winner Rick Clunn. Other than Larry Nixon, only 3 other anglers have inked their names on a Megabucks check. Can you name them? I don't think the answer is on the card.
They're just curious.
Yeah, just can you name them? RJ would like to see a Charizard. Yeah, no problem, Everett. All right. A Jay Yellis. There's a Classic champ and a Classic and an AOI, I believe.
Yeah.
Plus an FLW AOI, maybe. I remember thinking very fond of Jay. And then late in his career, he'd just come up on the stage with 2 fish and just talk about Cast for Kids, which is a great organization, but it was literally just so you could just press replay on what Jay was going to stay on the stage for the last 5 years of his career. But
yeah, when Jay was hammering him, he was likable.
Yeah,
he was a little too squeaky clean for my taste because he just kind of.
And was one of the first guys to really leverage the bass tricks.
Yeah, I think his most memorable moment is in the Classic he won at Lay up at the Logan Dam when the pontoon boat runs through between him and the bank. Then he caught a 6. I don't know if that's what exposed that portion of the river, but it could have been.
Tim Maynard says he's the Kyle Petty of bass fishing.
Who's that? Jay Ellis?
I think so. I don't know. Another classic champ back-to-back, Woo Daves. Virginia won the Chicago Classic, Lake Michigan. He was this also probably holds the records for the number of patches you could put on a vest.
Woo! I tried to watch that classic. I think it was 2000 in Chicago, and it was. I think there was probably a total of 2 minutes of actual fishing footage in that that tournament. And if you read it in the description, I think that was in Bassmasters. It said that one of the key baits was a Bagley Killer B2. But that's the reason I tried to watch it, because I wanted to see that, and I never saw him throw it.
Oh, Chris, you had a good pull this time, Chris. Biffle. Short shorts, nut huggers, flipping jigs. I mean, what more to say?
Biffle has the most.
Somebody you want to meet in your creek?
No. Biffle has the most softest looking, powerful hook set I've ever seen. Like, he doesn't look like he's doing anything, but his rod's so stiff it'll snatch like a 4-pounder over the boat, and all he does is lift.
All right, Bass Pundit doesn't like Hank Parker, but loves him some Woo. Fun fact: Jay Yells has a first and a last place in classics.
Randy Dameron is still a stick, the father of braid. There you go. Mickey Bruce. I think Mickey Bruce's Facebook got hacked because I got a message from him that said, "Hi, smiley face."
He won the first BASS tournament he ever entered, which was a Super Bass in 1983. Didn't say where it was, though. All these cards have a 1-800 number for more info. Does anybody want to call 1-800-782-2393?
Some old lady sitting over there smoking a cigarette going, yeah, like, finally somebody called.
Ooh, there's a full-grown Mark Davis there.
Oh, yeah.
That is peak male performance in Bassmaster fishing in the 90s right there.
That's him. Doesn't even look like Mark Davis.
Isn't Mark the only one that won the Classic and the OI in the same year? Is that right?
Correct.
He made his first Classic at 87, gaining both confidence and sponsorship.
And pounds.
Oh, look at that. Shout out to girls basketball team. They made it to state. There we go.
You know what was it's the saddest thing that really hurt me that I heard Mark Davis say is when Pangrack asked him if he had any of his signature flat A's, and he said no. I said, dude, your name was on you had your own color flat A with your name on the side of it, and you have none. Didn't even care. He's like, nah, they're gone.
So the Crosby Ironton gals made it to state championship. Tim suggests that number is actually Ken Duke's cell phone number. Bobby says he's only allowed to be a member of one channel at a time. He's going to go cancel his other membership. He doesn't really like custom baits anyways. Fair enough. Anthony says, I'd love to fish with Mark, pack some heaters, and drag a sea rig. Well, I got a couple cards left in. Oh, there it is!
No, there he is!
Has hit the home run.
Big money.
Chris, you need to book yourself a ticket to Grand Lake. You need to get this signed by Blockit. Get your picture taken with him next to the Garmin booth. And
take your live scope transducer and have him autograph it.
have him sign your LVS 34. Let's see. We gotta give all the stats. Stephanie Slayton says she wants this card. You know, Chris, you could probably sell this.
Yeah.
You could have a break. So he's November 24th, 1960. I almost share a birthday 2 days away from Randy Blockett. So Bateman's right around there too. So 1960, he's a little bit older than I am, age 31 at the time. Height 6'2", 175. It's probably still accurate today. Joplin, Missouri. Johnny Bench was his favorite athlete. Rick Klein is his favorite angler. He was DuPont Stren, G&B Batteries, Lucky Strike Manufacturing, Mariner Outboards, Ranger Boats, Tarpanware, Zebco Motor Guide. In 1986, his rookie year, Randy made the Classic held at Lake Chickamauga, Tennessee. Card number 26 in the set.
What a gem! You need to sleeve that one immediately.
Chris got the card. Oh, and if that 10 pull wasn't sweet enough, Zell Rowland.
You need to get Zell. Somebody needs to get Zell to autograph it. And if you've never seen Zell Rowland's signature, it's awesome.
Sweet. It's amazing. And you definitely, if you go to Grand Lake, Zell will be there. He'll be able to get in line and get that Zell Rowland sign. That'd be sweet.
Yep. He'd probably say, where the hell did you get this?
That's pretty sweet. Nice draw, Chris McVeigh.
People might see the Randy card and the Zell card and start getting a little more action in the
Yeah. Matt Robertson's second place in the Toyota at Kentucky Lake. Yeah, pre-Mega Bass. Yeah, Mr. Pop R, definitely Zell Rowland. Yeah, I mean, we didn't really talk. Zell Rowland, best known for being the king of Pop R's, but overall just a topwater guy. Liked him some heaters.
Yeah.
And I think my favorite Zell Rowland memory is flipping a black and blue jig on boat docks in Gunnersville. And, it's Hill culling 4-pounders.
That tournament just looked like, when you looked out across Gunnersville, it just looked fishy. You know what I mean? Like, it was like the grass was up, but it was like overcast and looked cold. It just looked fishy.
Yeah. All right. Nice pull, Chris McVeigh. Should we do another member poll or a public poll? I'll let you choose. Member.
Aaron has a good question. Do you think the low co-angler turning at the open is due to forward-facing sonar?
I don't think it helps.
I have a comment about that. I think that if I was going to be a co-angler after seeing what I've seen in on live, I would feel much better about being in the back of the boat and throwing out in the middle around nothing and potentially landing it around a fish.
All right. So this one's gonna be a members only, and then we'll probably do a full. We'll open it back up for lot number 5. So this will be lot 4, members only. Swim School says Biden wants to give every person who crosses the southern border a Garmin transducer. What does that even mean? Yeah, we didn't we watch that? I feel like we watched that. Was that when you were on Ed or a different watch party? I feel like we watched that on the show.
Tell me the year, Ed, and I'll get the DVDs out and watch it tonight.
I don't remember. I know I've seen it. Do I have a straw basket for whatnot? I don't even know what that means, Nate. I don't think so. Rex is in the house. Rex and Effects. All right, we got 13. We're back up. 14. Numbers are up here. Ryan, it's a members only draw member. Ryan, you've been a member in the past. Strawberry? Oh, the strawberry basket. No strawberry. Marty report, 30 baits down, 10 to go. You hear that, TK?
What's that?
30 baits down, 10 to go.
Ooh, Burns is going.
Are we carving while listening, Marty? Ed said he'll check the trophy. He's on the cash. I want to say that was a Tournament Fritz one. All right. I'm going to draw it. There's a few non-members in here, so we'll... Let's verify this is a memberable. The next one we'll do a public. Oh, Ryan Thiel. I don't think you're currently a member, Ryan. Pretty sure you don't have a fancy thing next to your name right now. Did I just see you come up? What's up, Gabe? Yeah.
Well,
we're going to redraw.
Maybe I'll give him a Spud Webb card.
There you go.
NBA Hoops. It's like a little booklet.
Top Toad. Rex. Top Toad, what lot do you want? Your choice is 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So not 2, not 9, and not 10. Building and listening. Yes, Top Toad. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Brendan, it is, and I painted it like 10 years ago. Correct.
Are you in number 5? Are you enjoying the nostalgia?
Oh yeah.
TK. Okay.
Very much.
So you don't feel like this was a nuisance for me to have you come on?
Oh no.
All right. First poll for Rex Top Toad is a Guido Hibden. So we compare the because I got a Guido Hibden in my set. Let's just do a little or my poll here. So there's let's see, 91 Guido versus 92 or 93 Guido. So there you go. Sight Fishing Legend. Good first card. Oh, there you go. Rex.
Dang, VanDam. That's a famous card, I feel like.
VanDam, not the AOI VanDam.
But I feel like they used that picture a lot for like, I think there was a book with that picture on it, and like it got used a lot in like media.
Spinnerbait King, Phenom.
That's why the spinnerbait kid, Alex Davis, had to be the kid.
Yeah. All right. And then he's got Chris Houston.
Dang. This one's stacked.
Yeah. Good deck so far.
Trade you the Randy. We got trades going.
Jimmy Houston's spouse, wife. She was a Baskin terror back in the day. Yes. Spud Webb did win a dunk contest. John Hall, Florida.
Not familiar with old Johnny.
Don't know much about John Hall. He made the Bassmaster Classic in his first season, 74-75, at Currituck Sound, North Carolina. He was a restaurant owner. There you go. Joy Scott, Bassingale, Arkansas.
Burns, you know her? Was she throwing Burns balsa back then?
Favorite carbony baits for Joy. Joy missed the Bassingale Classic in 1989 by 12 ounces. She was determined to make it in 1990. She did.
She lost her Burns Hellcat.
All right. John Dean.
Dean the Machine.
Louisiana. He kind of looks a little bit This guy could be related to Matt Robertson.
Is that flow I see?
There's some flow.
It looks
there.
like it connects to his raccoon eyes. His hair color is like matching. It looks like he's got like.
We know that his sunglasses fit his face tight.
I never could get him that sharp, and I was kind of pissed off about it.
John won a Skeeter in 1978 when he placed second at Toledo Bend. Don't know much about old John or John Dean there. Cecil Kingsley, Kansas. Stearman, do we know Kingsley?
Stearman, that's Stearman's idol.
He's like, I'm paying attention to Stearman here tonight.
Stearman, where are you at, bro? Card.
Storm Lures was a sponsor, and Rod Saver.
The only local
won the 94 or 84 Great Plains Superstar Classic and qualified for the U.S. World Bass Championship.
Stearman's salivating.
I don't really have coon. If I have coon eyes, they're like left over from last year because I haven't been fishing. Roger Farmer. We got some obscure ones in this poll. He's got some good ones and some obscure ones. He's a big Nolan Ryan guy. He won the first Bass. Roger won the first Bass Megabex tournament in 1986. It was held at the Harris Chain in Florida. So back to the trivia question. This is one of the few guys that hoisted a Megabass outside of Larry Nixon.
Was that the tournament that Larry Nixon had the 7-pounder on that they used in the bass reel where it goes,
must be.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I think that was that tournament.
There you go. Landing at is Amy coming home tonight?
Yeah.
Boarding the plane. Well, there goes your chances of getting any extra Muggsy Bogues. Do you just have a stack of the shortest NBA players to ever play?
Yes, I collect them. That's why I need that Steve Daniels card. I only collect short kings.
Whoever got the Steve Daniels card, I think that was in the first lot. Carol, slide into TK's DMs, and you can make a trade of sorts. All right, Chet Dowdett. There you go, Florida guy.
Yeah, he had a big name.
Chet was pretty well known back in the day. Probably a consistent classic qualifier.
Yeah, I think I last remember him fishing a classic down in Louisiana, like early 2000s. He was doing pretty good. Maybe the one
pro start. I was forced into turning pro. The mine when I worked shut down in 1979 because Truman Lake was built in 1980. So he worked in the mine that they had to shut down when they flooded Truman Lake, and that's when he became a fishing pro. That's pretty wild. And good old Stan Fagerstrom from Washington. Is that a red? I can't tell if that's like a fish fedora. I don't know. Is that like a, what is that called?
Fishing fedora?
Fishing fedora? What is
he looks like a clown. Like, is that like he looks kind of like Uncle Homer.
Yeah, he's like looking at this red thing that either looks like a heavy red bell sinker or a casting plug or like a catfish weight.
He looks like a circus clown, like he's about to pull out balloons and start doing balloon tricks.
Stan is equally well known as the world's #1 trick and accuracy caster, having wowed audiences for far more than 4 decades with his casting wizardry. The next best thing to fishing is talking about it, Stan says. I thank God I've had more than my share of opportunity to do both. So he was basically a trick caster, not necessarily like a profound tournament fisherman.
I knew he looked like an entertainer.
Amy says he looks like a rodeo clown. You got any other short in nature basketball cards you want to flash up on the screen?
Maybe not basketball, but I have other cards.
So you got like a Minute Bull card, just kind of the other end of the spectrum, or
oh no, way too tall. What about Wayne Newton Country Gold?
That's wild. All right, I gotta write these. Okay, wait, I forgot to write these down. Number 5 was, that's one we just did. That was top toed. And number 2 was Chris McVeigh. All right. So lot 5 is up. We'll do this one as a public. Go ahead and enter. Anybody can enter this one. Come on, Frank. You missed the. We showed the Baba Zumi card already. You got the Prince card?
No, I got Bocephus. Big money.
Bocephus?
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. I think was Baba Zumi in this stack. Since Frank's here, I feel like we should. It must have been in the first one. Maybe it was in Carol's stack. There we go. There you go, Frank. Just for you, Wayne and Bob, Izumi. If you need that card, contact Carol. You can talk her out of it.
Trade her a Shadrap for it.
Maybe a countdown?
Yeah.
All right. So everybody can get in this one. Hashtag lot 5. I think there probably is an L. Linder card in here somewhere.
Dude, Linder was something special, dude. He was able to like bridge the gap between northern guys and southern dudes. Like southern dudes would watch him like, and we didn't use anything that like he taught. You know what I mean? Like I'd watch him rip on smallmouth and pike and walleye, and it's like, dude, I don't even fish for this stuff.
Amy says before I take off. All right, Amy says we have to draw it because she wants to see if she's going to win. Otherwise, if you're not here, we'll let TK pick your lot. Where's Brower? Yeah, we haven't hit a Brower. The Brower is definitely still in there.
Waiting for
That's
me
the only
to
reason TK's up. He's like, he wants to just get a little look at it. Cam. All right, Cam. 1, 3, 4, 6, 7, or 8. Yeah. Who else would you be expecting? So I haven't seen a Brower. We haven't seen a Fritz. Cochran, we haven't seen.
No Gentleman George. I'd like to see the David Wharton.
There you go, David Wharton.
Anybody?
We saw Mark Davis. We saw a full-grown Mark Davis already. He was in full form in that card.
He didn't. I feel like he lost weight pretty quick after that. Like the big Davis era wasn't long.
Yeah. Cam, I need you to tell me whether you want 1, 3, 4, 6, 7, or 8. Otherwise, I'm going to redraw. Virgil Ward, Steve says.
Peter T.
Yeah. Tim says he's in for the Fritz. You can. All right,
Uncle
Cam,
Frank. I don't know if Frank was fishing back then.
All right, he's going to do 1. I was about to say, you're about to. All right. Number 1. I should write this down first. Cam, you'll need to reach out to me to make sure I have your address through like Instagram or Facebook. All right. So number 1, you got yourself a rare Larry Lazoan from Florida. One of the few guys wearing sunglasses in their photo.
He's a mystery man.
Yeah. He made the Classic in 1984 through the Federation ranks.
You know, he sold me on a bait, and it was just from a picture.
Yeah? Do tell.
He was in Bassmaster, and there was an ad, or I don't know if it was an ad or it was just like an article about Florida fishing or something. But he had, I think he was throwing a deep, tiny end Norman gel coat, maybe chartreuse and blue. And it was stuck inside of one of those like pre-spawned like giant Florida fish. And it was like hanging out of its mouth like bait hung. It might have been a Norman ad. But I specifically remember seeing that bait and being like, I want that bait, and I want it hanging out of a giant's mouth as well.
Did it come true for you?
No. Nope.
Probably because you didn't have giant Florida bass where you were fishing. That was probably your biggest problem.
True.
So people are saying we haven't seen Elias, we haven't seen Man, we haven't seen Iavino. Speaking of which,
Man, Tom Mann Sr., he'll probably be in there.
Speak of Dr. Crankenstein himself, Reel and Neal, Paul Elias, the still record holder for 4-day Bassmaster Elite Series record catch at 132.8, Paul Elias. Most of those fish caught dragging a 12-inch man's jelly worm. And he dodged a bullet because the 19-year-old did not snipe his record on Lake Fork. 1982 Classic at Lake Montgomery. That Classic was the Reel and Neal, right? Or Reel and Reel?
Yep. He did it a bunch on camera.
Every
chance he got, he was kneeling and reeling. He actually lived on
Larry was a hammer, ran with Shaw, won a Potomac River tournament at Cavatron Buzzbait. There you go. Next time we do this, we're going to have Ed join us. A 3-box.
Yeah, you should have replaced me with Ed. He's got real stories about these guys.
Bo Dowden.
He's a flipper.
Texas.
I feel like I saw him flipping grass a lot.
Finished 5th in the second bass tournament. He entered one at Beaver Lake. Hemphill, Texas. So is he Hemphill gang? If he's from Hemphill, Texas?
I think he would qualify.
Probably buddies with Harold Allen. Oh, so there was a in the one that we broke the other day on Whatnot, there was a Harold Allen card.
Yeah. The legend.
There it is.
Uh-oh.
Tim just went 6 to midnight. Tim Maynard. Look at that. Pumpkin growing, cranking, majestic beast.
Go take a cold shower, Tim.
There you go, Cam. If you want to flip this Fritz card, you just got to reach out to Tim Maynard. A series of Redman wins from 1985 to 1988 led David to a pro career. Browning rods, Gambler worms, hog collar, lose, hose, even BMC back then. That's kind of cool. Tim says that's a beautiful man right there. I don't think we've seen Klein tonight, have we? Klein is not bad. Klein's still coming. There's some good names out there still. There's still hope. Charlie Reed, Oklahoma. Definitely a name I recognize.
Yeah, I'm the same. I remember him, but I don't remember specifically like a tournament.
From Broken Bow, Oklahoma. Popular spot for pros to emerge from. Tim. All right.
Anybody from Oklahoma have any personal info on him?
The Sluggo was a different reed. That was like Herb Reed, right? That's not Charlie. Yeah. There's some reed that was the inventor of the Sluggo. Amy is astonished you don't know who that guy was.
I mean, I know the name, but I can't pin him to anything.
There could be a Ray Scott in there. All right. Dustin's asking Private Teaquay. Do you know? He wants to know if you know the Pose Elite.
No, I never liked Pose because the line ties always like got wonky on me and got rooted out, and you couldn't tune them. There he is.
Asking for David Wharton?
Yeah, David Wharton was my he was like under Brower as like my dudes I like looked up to.
You knew Denny was like unattainable, but you feel like you could have hung out with David because he was like the step below.
No, I just liked how he won, dude. Like he like throttled people. Like he would show up, and if he won, he'd win by 10 pounds. And like on the third day, Ray would be like, "You gonna catch him tomorrow?" And he'd be like, "Yeah," and I'm gonna catch him big. And he'd do it, dude. He'd go in there and just like blow everybody's brains.
One of David's guide clients urged him to fish tournaments and offered to pay his expenses. Broadus, Texas.
It's a good thing about fishing in Texas. Get some oil tycoon hop in your boat and like, why don't you just go fish? I'll pay for it. Like, it's no big deal.
Yeah.
I'll write it off.
Amy's suggesting your memory's getting a bit dusty in your old age.
Probably. I haven't been watching Bassmasters every night. I need to get back to it.
Yeah, this would be before Ish Monroe, Hans. Kyle Patrick. When do we get? I mean, like, I got a Matty Wong card. Where's my Kyle Patrick card? Let's get on it, Kyle. Elite Series rookie Kyle Patrick in the chat, watching on Facebook like an old boomer. Herb Reed is from Connecticut. Fish second, 1991.
Ed, he's probably not.
They're pulling out the DVDs.
Herb Reed is probably not the biggest Cowan fan. There he is.
There you go, Cam. That's a gem right there. A Harold Allen card.
That's a good one.
That's kind of disappointing that he's listed as Milam, Texas, not Hemphill. But he is the Hemphill.
Maybe the Hemphill gang was full.
In 1997, Harold decided to fish a full schedule and made the Classic. Just a worm dragging fool. Just loved to drag him a Texas rigged worm.
He had a pretty big catch up at Jordan on the Alabama River in the top 150, or not the top. It was the Elite 50 or whatever. Whenever they were doing that era, the Sitco era, he caught a big spot on a under one of those like trampolines in the water.
All right. Good night, Marty. Yes, Stephanie Bobby Murray was the first Bassmaster Classic winner. Nate, I didn't even look at the Santee Cooper standings yet today.
Tim, where'd you get that?
Maynard's got a Harold Allen tournament jersey hanging up in his bait room.
How'd you acquire that, Tim?
Rich Tauber, West Coast legend. Fishing pro was the only job. I want to say this is one of those guys that started fishing super young. That's all he ever did.
Where is he now?
I don't know. I think he's still. I think he's still around. I don't know if he's like, but
he's in California.
The West Coast really speak highly of Rich Tauber.
You said they don't.
They do. I mean, like,
like he's a good person and a good angler.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like good person, good stick, like, yeah, Southern Cal legend. Amy suggests you guys have been catching up on your Kardashians lately.
No, she said we haven't been.
Oh.
She wants to now.
Kathy Magers? My question is, all these bass and gals we looked at, super done up hair. How does that work in a bass boat? Like at the end, I mean, I gotta imagine you go to a weigh in a bass and gal tournament and that hair is just.
No, they all had sponsored shower caps that they wore. There's another place to put a patch, and then they would take it off when they got to their first spot. Yeah,
there's been a big shakeup at Santee Cooper in the standings. That's for sure. Kathy's pro career was the culmination of many events, including her parents teaching that she would accomplish anything in life if she tried hard enough. There you go.
Good for her.
Saw her at the Bingo Exchange Club in '88. I don't know if that's just a funny comment or that's real swim school. They probably all wear visors. And then Dave Fenton from Texas. Your last card, Cam.
Not familiar.
For fishing local and regional, Dave hit the bass circuit in 84, 85 and made the Classic. He was an air traffic controller. I mean, do you know anything about bass fishing?
Apparently not. My DVDs didn't start that late.
Never estimate the holding power of Aquanet. It says the Bass and Gals had Hudson River Classic.
Ed, do you remember what the purse was to win? No pun intended. To win the Classic. What the top Bass and Gal won in the Classic?
All right. Hashtag lot 6 members. We're only halfway done. This is
You got a lot of those.
are we gonna get through this tonight?
Maybe.
It's gonna be a Fenton won the New York Invitational on the Hudson in 1986. There you go, Ed.
That's lot 6.
This was a members. Just to remind Nate, you're not a member. You're not eligible.
Top prize was a
Prize was
Ranger.
a Ranger.
That's pretty good. I mean, that's not offensive.
And there are 89 people watching right now.
Is that low?
Of the cards we looked at, who would be the most prosperous in the front-facing Stone RH? I think Rich Tauber.
Probably.
Amy's still on her phone watching, even after they said that your phone is supposed to be in airplane.
Nobody listens to that. Amy will stay on her phone all the way till it quits working.
Mike Long with a large treble hook. There you go. Fenn also on a red man on the St. Lawrence River. Ed finished second. All right. I see a few non-members are in here. So let's have to double check this. Jeffrey Huff. You are a member. I think he was one of the ones that won. Did you win the gifted membership tonight? All right, Jeffrey. 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. George Trey's pick should be him of eating the world record bass.
We're waiting eagerly.
Yeah. Jeffrey. It's like Jeff is holding up. That's Dax. Dax, I think you're behind.
Dax, pump fake.
3, 4, 6, 7, 8. Jeffrey.
Where's Rich G? Because I've been meaning to speak with him.
Yeah, so I sent him an email and I didn't hear back. So I'm concerned that maybe his health maybe.
Uh-oh.
I don't know. I'm a little concerned. I haven't heard from him in quite a while.
Yeah, I thought he used to hop on my streams occasionally, and I hadn't heard from him. So.
Oh, you did 6? I missed it. Sorry. Chat was fine. All right, number 6. Oh, there's a good one right on top. You won't be pissed, Jeffrey, because you're starting out with the general, a young, handsome Larry Nixon from Arkansas. Darius, I feel like you're behind, but I want to fast forward. He lists Sluggo as a sponsor and Stanley Jigs. Well, there you go. He was a Stanley guy back then. He probably had the Viber shaft. No
Dude, I feel like everybody was. Like they were
1980 Bass King of the Year and 4-time Megabex winner. Card number 4. Then a guy Aker.
Oh, the Acre Shaker.
And I remember him doing really well in a California Delta tournament. Wasn't he sharing the same slew with like Bill Lowen in a Cal Delta tournament? Like 2000.
Like towards the end of his. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember him catching that like 9-pounder, 8-pounder on Sam Rayburn on a 3/4 ounce trap. I think it was on Rayburn. But he was just ripping it out of grass. It might have been Toledo, but I think it was Rayburn.
It's a good point. If you fish and you don't have kunais, you probably shouldn't be trusted.
Guys, still doing good, seems like.
So how did Larry Nixon get his nickname, the General? I feel like, wasn't that a nickname that somebody, like one of the FLW tournament directors or MCs gave him?
Yeah,
That's
Eric
the story I
tells the
remember.
story.
Another West Coast guy, Mike Folstead.
That's the card I have.
Yeah,
I don't know where it is though.
see
It's
his
somewhere
eyesight
around
up.
here. That's him. That's the exact card.
Won the 75 Western Bass, Clear Lake, California. Guy Eaker fished the Open this week at Santee Cooper, says Bass Pundit. Which makes sense. He's a Carolina guy. Swim School says he was dangerous with the split shot rig. Yep. Jim also said guys fishing the Open this week.
There he is.
Jeffrey, you
can send me any bait of your choice or two, and I will repaint it in trade for this Brower card.
there you go. That's like a $40, $50 value.
Yeah.
I feel like we should. So, Denny Brower, he was card number 7, born February 3rd, 1940. Do you want to just read this out, or just on memory, or do you want me to read it?
No, you go ahead.
So at the time, he was age 43, 6'2", 200. I mean, Denny got a similar build. Hamdenton, Missouri, but he was really from Nebraska, right? We all know that. Wife, Shirley, one child, Chad, not on the card, but we know that is Chad Brower. Favorite, how would you think his favorite athlete?
Browers?
Should I give you a sport at least?
Yeah.
NBA.
NBA?
Yeah, that's that. I don't think you.
David
I was gonna give it
Robinson?
to you. There's no chance. Did you say a name?
I said David Robinson.
Jordan. Michael Jordan. What do you think his favorite Bass Pro was? It would be like a contemporary for him, slightly older, but like Larry Nixon.
It was Nixon?
Yeah. So Chevy trucks, Daiwa, Evinrude, Humminbird, Lunker Lure, Plano, Ranger, Real Craw, Riverside Lures, Rod Saver, and Stren. Denny got serious in 1976, fished his first national tourney in 1980, turned pro, and made the Classic in 1982.
Dude won a lot for a long time.
Did AJ show up?
Yeah. He's getting ready for his big show tomorrow.
Ron Sheffield.
Ooh, Ron.
Spencer Sheffield's dad.
Yeah. I liked Ron. Ron caught him.
Yeah. Is a truck driver. I think.
And he'd always get busted smoking cigarettes. That's why I liked him.
Amazing mustache. Like he was like a jig and a rattle trap guy. Like that's.
I feel like he threw a spinner bait.
After the steel mill where he worked. So I think he worked the steel, but I feel like he sponsored by like a over the road trucking company when he was on the FLW tour for a while. Yeah, something like that. Oh, Amy says Ronnie Boy.
Ronnie Boy.
Jimmy. We forgot about Jimmy.
I can't do his laugh.
Look at that hair. Make the Bassengals blush.
Yeah.
There's a good pull. Card number 9 in the set.
Who's the sponsors on his shirt?
68. So there's a True Turn, a Best Western patch, like the hotel, Trilene, Humminbird across the chest. I can't see some of the other ones, but like that's kind of unique there. Most of these other people we are looking at didn't have I mean, if they had a title thing like that, it was like Ranger or ski, a boat company. Like we really haven't seen that in many of these other pictures. Ed fished a day 1 with Ron at Grand Lake. Ed caught Lunker and was in the top 10, finished 19th. Brown Big says, if you fish shallow and burn heaters, you can become PK's top 10 idol.
Pretty much. Pretty much all it takes.
Vojai Reed? Interesting. From Broken Bow, which automatically makes you a hammer on the water. She was a ballet teacher before going pro. That's a fun one.
She looks pretty. Am I crazy? Is she an attractive older lady? She looks like she's pretty in that card.
Yeah. I mean, she's definitely a little older than some of the other Bassingales of that era. Won the Bassingale Classic in 1984 at Elephant Butte. Like, she was 56 at this time. Amy says very pretty. Ryan says he's never seen Jimmy's forehead before. Smithfield says non-endemic sponsors, Best Western and Trojan. There it is, Peter T.
Peter T.
Florida.
What's he doing now? Doesn't he own a restaurant?
I don't know. He won the U.S. Bass Grand National at Lake Oconee, Georgia. He was a cook before going pro. Peter T had some banger tournaments, throwing like Junebug shrinkworms and things like that in Florida. But he had one, I don't know if he ended up winning it, but he had that one really strong tournament up in New York where they did like a split lake, and they ended up on Lake Onondaga, and he was throwing the PD rig, which was really just a super light mojo rig.
Right. The PD rig.
He was also on the True Tungsten staff back in the day.
Yeah.
Brian believes that Vojai, if I'm not pronouncing it, was Charlie Reed's better half.
Interesting.
And Ed Coward says Peter T could cook.
Ed, did you get to eat some of Peter T's cooking? What was your most memorable Peter T meal?
I mean, does all these bass boss bays inspire you to get your kayak out?
I mean, I feel like if they had a Bass and Gals tourney now, you think there would be like full field of like 150, 75, maybe?
I think they could fill a 50 angler field. That's about it, probably. Amy says yes, she's getting the Tommy Martin.
Tommy Martin.
Not related to the
Pam Martin.
Yeah, or Roland Martin, or Hemp Hill gang. He is Hemp Hill, Texas. Legendary East Texas angler. In Tommy's first year in 1970, he won a tournament and the classic. So Tom Martin won a Bassmaster Classic in 74. Yeah, Sam Rayburn. Listen, so there's currently a women's trail in Indiana.
That's interesting.
It says it make me want to get TK and I on the water. Hey there.
Hella, send me those Bass and Gals cards, please.
Yeah, so also anybody that got a Bass and Gal card, you can trade for one paint.
One repaint.
All right, and then Ken Cook. That's a good one. Rest in peace, Ken Cook. Bassin biologist.
I never could catch fish on his spinnerbait color he always threw, that blue and white and chartreuse.
Yeah, but I think he was not afraid of an orange kicker blade or a big kicker blade. And
he threw all kinds of wild spinnerbaits.
Yeah. Big break came with a win at Super Bass 1 in 1983 at St. John's, Florida. Because he was with a Hart tackle in the back in the day, Hart spinnerbaits, and I actually think I sold a Hart buzzbait on Whatnot that long time ago. All right, that was lot number 6. Jeffrey Huff. Hope you enjoyed that. There you go. There you go. Carl, Frank needs the Izumi twin cards by April 7th so you can get him to sign it.
What happens on April 7th?
It must be a Canadian
Opener.
fishing show expo. Amy says you owe her a handful of fishing trips.
I owe myself a handful of fishing trips.
Old
Actually,
still get $33.
I can go ahead and tell Amy I'm going fishing tomorrow. Amy, I'm going fishing tomorrow with Keith.
Oh, Ralph's here. Finally hitting the Southern California waters tomorrow. That a boy, Ralph.
He could have probably told us about some of those California gentlemen.
Chris says he swears by the Heart Justice jig.
Is Hart still a company?
Not sure. All right, we got 4 lots left. Wow. Yeah, I don't know. Sounds like a front. He's probably laundering money or something tomorrow. There was a Jerry McInnes card in the other lot that I saw the other day. What are we at now? Lot number 7, 8, lot 7. Lot 7 will also be a members lot. So members only, lot number 7.
I'm trying to look up this justice jig.
Oh, Amy was there, so evidently she I found out through a live stream. She's probably not going to enter this one now because she's in protest.
She's 20,000 feet in the air and still somehow doing this.
Yeah, well, some airlines have free Wi-Fi.
Hard tackle looks like there's no. Page doesn't work. They still got some SEO because you look up the Heart Justice jig and it pops up first.
Yeah, if she's on Delta, most of those have free Wi-Fi.
The Justice jig is like a ball-headed jig, looks like, but not. It's like
a chompers.
Kinda, yeah, but it's got a different. It looks kind of like one of those Omega jigs, but it's got the like spider cut skirt.
Sounds like she's gonna be getting in late. She's still on the tarmac.
I'll be fishing by the time she gets home.
Everybody in? Members? Lot 7? I feel like we gotta pick up the pace here anyways. Beep, 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 beep. Oh!
Hey!
What lot would you like? Do
What
you
is
get
my
the choices again?
Yes, please.
You can have 3, 4, 6, or 7.
7.
7?
Lucky number 7. Why not?
Ooh.
You rigged it.
There was 2 of those had Bassingales on the top of them. This one did not.
Maybe all the undercards are Bassingales.
Maybe. You also missed a classic champion on the other stack first, but you did get a Homer Circle.
Oh, I hated that guy. He was so full of it, dude. He's like my arch nemesis.
This next one's kind of a cool card.
Homer Circle, what a loser.
Oh wait, you said 7?
Yeah.
I accidentally picked up 8.
Somebody already. Oh, never mind.
Do you want to stick with this, or do you want to switch to 7?
I'll take. I really don't like Homer Circle, so I'll take the other stack.
Okay, we'll allow it because you've been putting some time in here. You're guaranteed a Bassingale with this pick.
Perfect.
You've traded Homer Circle in for Teresa Wynn from
My
Kentucky.
mom's name's Teresa.
There you go.
Is it with an H or no H?
Eresa.
Yeah, my mom spells it with an H. But close enough.
Teresa won the Bassingale Kentucky Lake Invitational, and she was a lumber company secretary.
Bass Ripper. Log Ripper. Bass Ripper.
Amy's super excited about that card.
I'm going to put it in one of these little frames beside the
Here you
bed.
go. This one you can appreciate. You'll like this one.
Joe
The father
Thomas?
of flipping.
Who's that?
D.
D.
Thomas.
Thomas, the father of flipping. That's a good one.
Right on. Yeah. He basically invented flipping, and they basically speaking of relating this to current times, when D. Thomas was literally going around the country stealing everybody's money, basically short line and big bass out of heavy cover, there was rumblings they wanted long rods and flipping banned.
Mm-hmm.
There was people that wanted it banned, much like people are crying about front-facing sonar today, because they couldn't adapt and they wouldn't change, and D was taking their money. Ryan Deal. I'm not putting that up.
TK gets a Ronnie Moore Future Prospects card.
The Ryan Thrill cranking hogs.
Definitely, she was a hog cranker.
All right, got you Jack Haynes, a Louisiana guy. He's a Delta guy. I mean, different Delta. Jack won the 75 Bass class. Oh, Jack Haynes won the Classic at Curtic Sound, North Carolina. Guess I did not know that. The name I did not remember as a Classic champ.
I didn't either. Jack. Stanley Mitchell, youngest guy to ever win a Classic
champ, right? Didn't he win at 19 or 20 or something like that?
Yeah, he was the youngest guy to ever win a Classic.
1981 Classic Championship, and he won a win later that year at Lake Norman. Didn't he win on a jig?
That sound right? But Ed said I got the hottest Bassingal card.
There you go.
It was a knockout.
This is awesome.
Randy Fight.
Texas guy.
That's Rick Clunn's brother-in-law.
He's a poor man's Wharton, Randy Fight.
Isn't that his brother-in-law?
Something like that.
So when he, I guess it was in '99 when they went to Champlain, the tournament where Ike cut his net and the fish went through it. They interview Clunn, and Clunn says they asked him what he was doing. He said he was very vague and like, I don't know that you could have like a more like avoidable answer to a question. He said fishing up north on wood, brother Randy. Like that was all the like details he gave.
I knew I was going to be a pro all along. Rick Clunn was 7 years older in the mid 1970s. I helped out in his guide business during the summer through school break. His favorite bass pro, Rick Clunn. Bless you.
Thank you.
John Bedwell, California.
I'm not familiar with him.
Won the Western Bass Shasta Lake Tournament in 1978.
Thank you, Caro.
Amy and Carol both give you a bless you.
Thank you.
Glendale Martin. You got a big Texas stack.
I know.
I feel like Glendale Martin's a big sea rigger.
Gotta be. He's a French fried dragger.
Yes. Oh, I don't know this guy, but David Yarborough.
He looks like a scallywag. I already like him.
He's one of you. He's in Alabama.
See, I knew I recognized him.
Finished fifth at the 1986 Bassmaster Classic and became the only Federation angler ever to lead a Classic.
How about that?
He could be kinfolk, maybe.
What's his name? David Yarborough?
He's from Gadsden.
I'm going to look him up on Facebook and be friends with him. See if I can get my card autographed.
Greg Hines, Arizona.
Greg Hines.
Greg won the 1981 U.S. Open at Lake Mead and $50,000 cash. It's good that you get some obscure ones.
Yeah.
Gravy, these ones we're just giving away tonight. I may or may not have some other ones that I may do a actual break on whatnot. We'll see. And your final card, Dion Hibden, Missouri, Classic Champ. It says Dion made the Classic in 1988 and fished with his dad. I believe were they the first father-son to fish a Classic? I think that.
So.
All right. There are just 3 lots left. Might be a Cale Yarborough brother.
Oh,
he's not in Alabama. He's in Lower Alabama.
Yeah, I'm down here where the fishing sucks unless you're into salt.
Amy, you are still here for lot 8.
She's
so
trying.
We're gonna do lot 8 and 9 for members, and then I'll open the last one up for everybody.
You got a chance.
All right. Lot number 8 is up. Let's just see some of these other questions. Oh.
Amy,
somehow you're still on your phone.
Put in lot 8, and then I'll pick. There you go. We got to get these cards.
Well, if somebody's a big Homer Circle fan, they've got kind of a sneak peek here. So,
Homer, dude, his articles are always so terrible. I know he meant well, but it was like such like hardcore hogging info, and the rest of the Bassmasters, and his was always like really cheesy.
It's like throw a 4-inch worm on 4-pound line with a 1-out.
I always feel like it was like you were reading in Bassmaster about like cutting edge techniques to win tournaments, and he would throw you some like tip that was like better suited for like 1973.
Yeah, was like, throw a Bassarino on 8-pound mono.
Right, exactly.
Throw it out, and then all the rings dissipate.
That's how you catch big bass on a topwater, and you're sitting there thinking, "Get out of here, Circle."
Chris says he's from Crenshaw County. It might be cuz kinfolk.
Crenshaw County.
You can see if you win on the replay, Amy. Yes, Dion also a FLW champ, so he's one of the few that holds the cup and the classic. Look, people, when you're up here in Northern Alabama, look me up and we can rip a lip.
I was in.
All right, time to draw.
I was up there
lumber
2 days ago in Asheville.
Jim, Big Jim. Big Jim. Which one you want? 3, 4, or 8? Jim.
Jim wants 8 because he wants that
Should
Homer.
put Jim back up there. He's just holding that big old hog in that Ranger shirt.
Jim wants that. Jim wants that Homer.
Are we enjoying this tonight, people? Is this entertaining?
I mean, it is to me. Oh, Jim, come on.
Come back. Anybody? No comments since Josh Heron's. Oh no. Somebody says. Somebody asked what a stupid tube is on Instagram a long time ago. Jim wants number 4. Wicked Bastard on Instagram said, "My friend has a lot of these cards. He tried to trade me some of them for my unopened man's baby -1s." Epic Eric Bass Lab peeked in briefly on Instagram. All right. Lots of memories. Ed says that's good. Grimy says he's entertained. All right. Seems like, a lot of people, we've been pretty steady at about 60, 70 people. So the ones that are here are, so Jim, Big Jim, number 4. See if I count this correctly. Jim, you're going to be pretty excited. The first card on top was a good one.
Oh,
George Cochran, Gentleman George. Sorry, I believe he has a Cup and a Classic, and until the Pittsburgh Classic had the lowest winning weight classic, right, on the Ohio River. Does that sound right? A bit of a shallow cranker as well.
Yeah, he would throw a balsa 3, as he called it. Couldn't say Bagley.
Well, he won the Arkansas State Championship in 1887. He was sponsored by Strike King Lures.
Yeah, he was. Didn't he try and say
there you go, Joe Thomas?
Uh-oh.
Another underrated short nut hugger, short wearing guy. Like he wore some short shorts, but you may recognize him from Ultimate Match Fishing, was where he's most well known now. But back in the day, Joe wrote a book, and I read that book about bass fishing.
What was your takeaway?
I don't know. It kind of talked about how he came up through bass fishing back. Even what was it? Because before Redman, it was what maybe called the Golden Blends or something like that back in the day. Dustin Taylor says it's Jacob Wheeler's dad.
He was, I think he ran with Randy on tour.
He's what?
He roomed with Randy Blockett on tour back in the day.
Really? Nice. Mm-hmm. There we go. This is one people have been clamoring for. Gary Klein. Do you think more, less, or the same of Gary Klein since the split in the whole MLF kerfuffle?
I've never liked him, so
never liked him.
No,
it's kind of a flip to too clean cut for you.
Huh?
Too clean cut?
No, he just didn't impress me. He didn't do anything for years. Like he was just like medium for his whole career, but had like a reputation as like a dude, like a Brower. You know what I mean? Like it seemed like he got his.
So you're saying he's overrated, is what you're saying?
Oh, very. He had that one win at like Seminole, and I guess he won an FLW on the Mississippi River. Like he had a couple wins, but I don't feel like he was like a. But he kind of like was made out to be like a superstar.
I mean, he started super young, right? Like that was one of the things he.
Yeah.
Came from the West and started at like 19 or something like that. Another mustache legend, Shaw Grigsby for Jim. Shaw won the 1984 Redman All-American and $100,000 cash. I also thought there was like an E50 on like Dardanelle where he led for like a day or two out of nowhere, and I was like, why is Shaw leading at Dardanelle in the summer? But
it's a good thing Ed didn't come on, because y'all would have never finished. This stream would have ended at 4 a.m.
Yeah, we'd have to do it like, okay, we're gonna open half the box tonight.
Yeah,
and then
we're gonna do 4 cards.
Johnny Borden from Missouri. That name does not ring a bell for me.
He looks like a country music singer.
Ed says Shaw's his buddy. Jack Chancellor. There's an oldie but a goodie.
Yep.
He won the Classic in 1985 on the Arkansas River.
Klein did come across kind of arrogant, and I just didn't seem like I wanted to hang out with that dude.
With who? Klein?
Gary Klein, yeah.
Still hung up on that. It was like 5 cards ago.
Well, that was a comment about it.
Jerry Ryan.
You hear that name a lot.
Because he high finish in the Federation tournament at Tail Rock Lake gave Jerry the confidence to turn pro. But didn't he run a big tournament circuit in the southeast region, right? The Jerry Ryan circuit. Is that him?
Maybe, but he was. If you go back and watch a Bassmaster from, I think it was Rayburn. Ray Scott's interviewing him on stage because he has like a 30-pound bag or something like crazy, and he had like 2 tins, something absurd, and he talks about the damn little fish bait. That was his quote. That was his joke, because he told his his co-angler. Like the dude hadn't caught anything all day or something, and he said, "I'm gonna throw this little fish bait out there." And he throws it out there and like catches a couple giants. And Ray asked him if he was gonna give his partner one of those. And the guy said, "Damn, little fish bait or something." But anyway, I think that was him.
So let's say Jack Chancellor, he was like a do nothing worm guy. Somebody says Johnny Borden was a bass cat guy. Just drew him mobile in Mobile, showed up day 2 with half a tank of gas. Oh,
that's what you need.
Got a Bassin gal alert.
Uh-oh.
Freda Lee from Tennessee. She's the only 10 you see. See what I did there?
Watch out,
Freda was a high fashion model and once performed as the world's only living mannequin.
Dude, is she the hottest one? Maybe I've got to acquire this card.
I don't know, but there's another one on the tackle that I see in front of me that is a well known that I feel like she's pretty good and probably one of the bigger known names from the Bassin Gals that we still got coming up.
You're holding out on the babes.
Yeah, John Torian from Louisiana. A $37,000 paycheck from the Louisiana World's Fair Tournament in '94 gave John the finances to turn pro, and then he proved to himself that he could fish with the best. Can't say that I know John Torian.
Not a fan, or not a fan. I'm not familiar.
I'm kind of surprised with the number of ones that neither one of us can put a like. How about a Cliff Craft from Georgia?
Cliff Craft.
I feel like I kind of remember the name, but can't say that I.
Sounds like a boat.
He's number 50 in the deck. All right, we're down to one of the best. Guide on Toledo Bend. John Torian. Okay. Chris Turner seems to know quite a bit about some of these guys.
She traveled with Linda England.
She traveled with Linda England, and they had a double-decker trailer. Can't repeat what they called.
Ed, message us in private and let us know.
Yeah, go ahead and slide into the DMs. Tim says John Torian was another member of the Hemp Hill Gang.
How many?
We're learning stuff tonight, TK.
I know. I didn't know the Hemp Hill Gang was 30 strong.
All right, 2 lots left. All right, so this will be lot 9. This will be members only, and then we'll do one final full poll. Everybody can get a shot. And you're down to 1 entry now that Amy's in the air. It's a good question. What the hell is a living mannequin? I don't know.
I guess you just stand there and don't
Lot
move.
9 members. I fished as a co-angler that year, plus I fished over there. Okay, cool. Cool. So we got to look at some old worms tonight. Looked at some old crankbaits. Old bass.
You gonna fish those lizards?
I don't know. Maybe I'll send them to you.
I think you should fish them in an open.
Yeah, St. Clair.
Yeah.
Just so
when you win and get interviewed, you can say, "Oh, I caught him Carolina rigging a FLW lizard that I got for $1."
Can I hover stroll them? Can I?
Yeah, that would be even better. I mid-strolled a lizard.
I slow rolled it over the fish's head, and they came up and they couldn't resist this little cricket on a 1/8 ounce head.
Yeah, I tried minnows, but they weren't on minnows. They wanted the lizards.
I feel like you need those Producto swimming worms. Those are right in your wheelhouse.
Those are pretty cool. I wish the body was solid and not. Does it have the hook?
The slot?
The slot like a regular fluke?
Not really. It's got a little slot, but it's like super shallow. Like so, it's mostly full.
I kind of like that better.
I'll use it as packing material for my
perfect
unfinished baits. All right, we're drawing. Hans says he used to hammer them on the Zoom red shad lizards.
Red shad, dude. People even throw that color anymore?
Critical gravy. Mr. Welsh, what's your poison? You can choose 3 or 8. Ooh, oh boy. Yes.
What did we just see?
No, I just went like super like
Oh, I thought you flashed a browser of the Bass
hell
and
of a.
Gals.
I'll get you a bait for a
Calendar.
Smalley strolling. All right. All right. The Hemphill gang was Tommy Martin, Larry Nixon, Harold Allen, John Torian, and John Hall.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Here's
I thought there was
3.
somebody else.
Gravy's going 3. All right. He's going to get what I think is probably one of the most famous Bass and Gals right off the rip. And I think just a bit of a looker. You may want to timestamp this so you can go back and show Amy. Penny Berryman.
Ooh, she is pretty.
And I feel like that's a name that I recognize from back in the day. Like 100% rigged. Darius, Gravy, and TK1. Don't go sharing tabs, Hella.
The Bass and Gals were babes.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't get more eyeballs.
You think back in the I mean these, you know, whatever, this is let's say 90% dudes in this deck.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they probably intentionally picked
the cute ones
for the cards. I don't know, it could be wrong. Maybe I'm being sexist, but back in the 90s that was probably the move.
Yeah, you don't see old Betty Johnson on there. That's
Gravy. You got a Bass checklist. You got cards.
You get
51
nothing.
through 100. All right, Aaron, you can hit me up in some DMs. All right, Tom Mann Jr.
I had his All-Star Carolina rig signature rod.
There you go. Not related to Man's Bait Company, though. I don't believe. A different man.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, what are the odds, though?
Last time Bass had East-West divisions. Tom fished second on the year and did well in Okeechobee. He made the Classic his first year. Yeah, pretty good career on both, I believe, Bass and FLW. The girls on the cards were the best anglers they had. Were they the best finishing anglers or the best looking? Yeah, I don't think Glenn was considered a Hemphill. Jim Nolan from Arkansas. Only sponsor was Ranger Boats. Got his start as a result of his longtime association with Ranger Boats. So I wonder if he was like one of the people that found or.
He probably helped Forrest with funding to get it going.
Yeah. Been gone for about an hour. Any more Randy cards? Just the one. Rob Kilby, Arkansas. This is Arkansas heavy in this section.
Didn't Kilby do pretty good on the FLW side? Didn't he go over there and do pretty good?
I think so. Made the 84 Bassmaster Classic. Factory tackle rep.
He's kind of got Scott Martin vibes, his skin and his complexion.
Ed says Tom Mann Jr. was a Georgia finesse angler, did a bait show with them. Linda England, doubling down on Bass and Gals. I want to say she was actually pretty good. I remember hearing her name.
Mm-hmm.
Linda won both the Bass and Gal Angler of the Year and Bass and Gal Classic at Lakeview Fall in Alabama. So she's an AOI and Classic winner. She's like Mark Davis, but slightly more petite. Jim Bitter. Well, there's a right. Dropped a 12-incher while trying to hold it up for Rob Tucker, right? Was trying to take a picture of it, and that cost him that was the Classic that Parker got his second Classic when he dropped his fish in the water, right?
Correct. You're not going to
Christopher
measure
says,
that fish? I
Kilby,
think was the question.
what's that?
I think his cameraman asked him, "Aren't you going to measure that? Or you're not going to measure that fish?" And that's when he went back up to the front of the boat.
No, I thought like he measured it and then held it up for a photo, and then it.
I thought he was laying it down to measure it again because he asked him if he wasn't going to measure it, and then when he put it down to measure it, it flopped.
No, I think he measured it and then went to hold it up for
I'll have to watch it.
Tucker, who's in the back of the boat with a still camera, and it. That's how I remember it.
Regardless, it was awful.
Ed says, fish with Rob at the FLW Invitational. He set the record for the worst bass tournament ever caught. Nothing in 6 days.
I'm right, they say, Hella.
About
Flopping off the board.
Okay. I think he went to hold it up. I feel we should look this up on YouTube.
Prove me right.
Randall Romig. I remember that name. Pennsylvania. Randall's first class runs was in 1982 on the Ohio River, turning point towards a pro career. Was
I feel like Randall Raymond. He did a pretty good name getting his name out there. Like I feel like I remember his name a lot.
I don't know if he was started in the Federation. Ed says Jim Bitter fished with him. They both had a great time and both did great in the tournament.
I remember when they came to Mobile, Jim Bitter, there was footage of Jim Bitter on the riverbank, I think in the Blakely River, twitching a rogue.
That's right. Did I? There was 2 Penny Berrymans.
Just slide one in my stack.
They both ended up in the same stack. So, I thought that was the first card. Critical Gravy. Do you want to donate one of your Penny Berrymans to Inigo Montoya, or do you want to keep it?
Husky Jerk. Interesting. It wasn't a rogue.
If you do, I'll give him the off-centered one. You can have the more mint one in case you want to have it graded and certified. And Charlie Ingram, Tennessee. He had a TV show, right?
He did. I heard he was a real piece of work.
He won the Bass tournament in 1984 on Okeechobee and the Mississippi River. I never really like his vibe on the TV show. I never really. You want all of your women in bass cards at TK or just the extra one, Gravy?
Thanks, Gravy.
So I think there was a few of them in there, wasn't there?
He might have pulled doubles.
Because Linda England was also in his stack. Fishing University. Yeah, that's what it was. All right. One line a lot. Lot number 8 will be a public lot. All of them. There you go.
Oh!
So you got a Linda, a Penny Berryman for you and for Amy.
Thank you.
Oh, hook sets are free. You were both kind of right. He was picking up the fish, but after measuring it, flopped out of his hands. Penny was the best angler on that trail. Yeah, I feel like I remember her being. Hank won his first flip the rod they had to borrow from Gary Klein. All right, we got. Let's get this going here.
Do you think anybody would care if they did that again? Like a throwback tournament where they limited rods and weighed tackle?
Do you think it would? When you say if anybody would care, would it actually drive more interest?
Do you think it would be like people would be into it besides like Randy's followers?
Hashtag final. Anybody can enter. Pam Martin Wells made day 3 of the Classic. Every time you want to go fishing, you just hand a Bass and Gal card to Amy. It's kind of a payoff.
Oh.
All right,
When Amy wakes up in the morning, she's gonna roll over and see a Pam Martin Wells card where I'm supposed to be. Be like, God.
as I recall, Pam Martin Wells was not the most fetching of the. She caught him, but I don't recall.
No, she looked like she'd have a strong grip and calloused hands. And I remember listening to her on stage, and it was not very. I feel like she talked like she could catch them.
Rob Kilby was in the lead of that 1989 classic.
I wonder if there's any Bass and Gals cards on eBay, so I can collect the whole series. I need something else to collect.
Are they going to show the moment? They're just showing the weigh-in. I want to see because he came in one fish short that day. Oh. I don't think they're going to show this. So everybody will have to draw this first.
I think it's on one of the classic rewinds.
I'd watch it, but I wouldn't want to fish in that tournament. All right. I think everybody that wants to be in is in. We're going to draw it. 28 people. Oh, Nick, a channel member won it anyways. Nick, you always win on here. Nick, do you want lot 8 or lot 8? Or you could also have lot 8.
Search Jim winner losing. Jim winner losing. Oh, poor Jim.
All right. Nick, you get Homer Circle. A legendary Bassmaster author. Any comments, TK?
No.
Feel free to donate that to TK Stack if you don't want it. Here's one. Johnny Morris, Missouri.
With a tuna?
There with a giant tuna in the photo.
That's kind of cool.
This is the Bass Pro Shops Johnny Morris. That's kind of cool. And you get yourself checklist number 1, card 1 through 50. At least it's kind of cool. Is that a Strike King grass frog hanging out of his mouth?
I think it is. There's my grass frog. It looks just like it.
It looks just like a grass frog.
Is that what's hanging?
Mm-hmm. That one's got a little more life left in the tail than yours, but
I mean, look at that! Look at that beefy hook.
Yeah, I had to explain to the Craig's Corner on Whatnot that hook actually goes up in the water, not down. He couldn't figure that out. All right, Nick. John Hale.
John Hale. I think he's part of
the Hemp Hell gang, right? Didn't we determine that?
I think he was. I think he became part owner of Stanley Jiggs recently.
Tim, I think you gotta reach out to Cam about that Fritz card. But I think somebody said John Hale was one of the Hemp Hill guys.
Does he have a Stanley Jiggs hat on?
Yes.
I think he became
a patch on his shirt as well.
I think he became a owner of Stanley.
It also listed the Hale's
Crawworm. Yep. Now I think they're
Hemp Hill gang and guide. John Murray, look at that young. That's almost unrecognizable John Murray.
That's when he was stacking boats up.
Yeah. He won like 20, 30 boats out west. Won the U.S. Open at least once, maybe a couple times. Good career on Bassmaster as well as FLW, or as I guess moved over to B. I guess he didn't move over to MLF until it was BPT. Otherwise, it was mainly Bassmaster. Randy Beringer, Texas. China Spring, Texas.
All those dudes
Randy's
from Texas
cousin
are so good,
Don
dude.
gave him his first sponsorship in 1976 by paying for him for entry fees to the national tournaments. Oil money, Dad. Or oil money. Another oil money guy from Texas. There we go. We talked about this one earlier. Somebody mentioned this. Don Iovino. Brass and glass. Little finesse worm. Texas, brass and glass, shaking a worm out west.
He was good about getting his name in magazine articles. I'll give him that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Brass Weights was one of his sponsors.
Just brass weights in general.
Yeah. Well, was it? What was? Yeah, I remember that packaging. Because they came in a little card with it, and they just
This predates
Thunderbolt?
bullet weights brass ones.
or Thunder Bullets or something like that. The brass weights that had the rattles inside of them.
Oh wow! Did you ever use the Carolina Keepers that you squished and slid up
A
your
few.
lines?
Yeah,
Yeah.
top brass. Yeah, that's it, Brian. Bernie, feel the burn.
Bernie, feel the burn.
The original advisor gang, right there.
That's him. And he hasn't updated his visor style. He still wears like the '80s big high like visor.
Yeah. In 1983, Bernie won 2 tournaments in the same week. In 90 and 91, Bernie took both the Canadian Open and the Cup titles.
And never won
Thunderweights.
again. Poor guy.
Tim said he always liked the Iovino Splash It. Was a good popper. Homer Humphreys, Louisiana.
I think Homer created a couple of a small line of plastic baits back in the day, like hard baits. He tried to create a plastic Killer B2.
At this time, it said Dr. Pepper was one of his sponsors.
That was a pretty good sponsorship, I bet.
Hydecraft. And the final card of the night is obviously, who haven't we called? I mean, you should have a checklist in your head.
Oh, I've lost track.
Ricky Green from
Ricky
Arkansas.
Green. I'm surprised they didn't give Ray Scott a card.
What's that?
I'm surprised they didn't give Ray Scott a card.
Yeah. He was a chemist.
Brian Head talks to Homer Humphreys weekly.
Nick said he just had a Dr. Pepper at dinner. There's actually some Dr. Pepper in this tumbler tonight.
Tasty.
But wait, there's more.
Oh, wait. Bass and Gals calendar.
Who's this right here on the screen?
All right.
Jim Bitter.
Let's see let's see the fumble.
Okay, he's measuring it.
Comes up for the picture.
Yeah.
Or he was getting the picture and measuring. So it was a combo.
Yeah. A little bit of both.
God,
look at that young Weldon there.
That freaking Jim.
So it does look like Tucker had already pulled his camera down. So I think it was more than measuring.
That was all the story I heard was that he said he made him second guess himself that he wasn't going to measure the fish. So he's like, I'll prove it. I'm I'm sure he appreciates us showing that. You know, Jim's watching tonight.
Do you think he still has association? I mean, is Jim Bitter, or is it his brother, that Bitter Bait Company?
Yeah.
And they're still around.
Yeah, Bitter makes pretty good baits.
Bobby's enjoying some government French toasts. Wow. Taking shots at Lee Tucker, Chris.
He was. Tim Tucker was a very large individual. That's a bear of a co-angler. That was no bear or co-angler.
Weighty OJ and government French toasts. No, that was a media guy. That was a legendary photographer, writer, Mr. Tucker for Bassmaster.
What happened to that other guy that used to write in Bassmaster that was like, he had this very weird kind of writing style?
Oh, speaking of people I couldn't stand.
That guy?
Yeah.
And he looked like Don Barone, yeah.
There was some people like, oh, I love Don. I was like, I can't stand him.
It was like, it wasn't even like legible, like it was just like fictional, like haikus. Like like I never like gravitated towards his like writing style. I always thought it was very odd.
Yeah, Tim Tucker was. Yeah. Could you educate a young Brendan?
Why my name is Inigo Montoya, and why you killed my father, and you need to die.
He has to watch or anything, or
yeah, you should probably try watching The Princess Bride, Brendan. Stop saying that.
Shimano visor? I do have a Daiwa visor. There's a G Loomis visor over there.
It's friggin' gibberish. I always thought it was too. I'm glad I'm the only person that was not a fan of his writings. Am I a transplant to Alabama? Born and raised.
Transplant back to.
Lived in Texas for a little while. Nope.
I guess this would be on a. I do have this visor.
You got a Zell Rowland signature on there, so we can see his little pop art.
So there's Kevin VanDam. Tommy Biffle right on the. Biffle's got a pretty good signature.
Who wrote Bass Wishes?
I don't know. So that's Ike.
Almost look like a Mike McClellan.
Tucker on the underside. I don't know if I noticed that before. Can't try to figure out what that one is.
It looks like Clausen, but it doesn't look like Luke up top.
Can't quite tell what that thing is there.
Somebody draw a fishing pole? Rick Clunn?
Rick Clunn. Rich Bass Wishes, Rick Clunn.
No way Rick took the time to draw Zebco 33.
Fish? Do you think whoever got this sign for me didn't know who Rick Clunn was, or? Yeah, I don't see a Zell on here.
Bass Wishes.
All right, and for the final drawing tonight, I'll pull off 20 yards of this 30 pounds. What was this? AN40. Silver thread AN40.
I thought you had plucked a 17-pound big game spool off of Whatnot, and I was about to. I was about to get as fired up as
but the thing is, getting a French card. I could just write 17-pound big game on the other
I wouldn't know the difference.
You'd be like, you'd said it wasn't white or clear, and be like, well, it's green. I'd still take some.
Dude, I didn't even think about that. I need to get on Whatnot 24/7 searching for Or I could just put out a PSA now. If you shop on Whatnot a lot and you see a bulk spool of 17
Or
film
any
VanDam,
spool.
I do not care. Please buy it, and I will refund you the $13 that it sells for.
Did you ever see the the Tom Mann poster?
On Whatnot?
Yeah.
Mm-mm. I'm gonna have to start getting on there, I guess, more.
There it is right there. There's a I had it. I actually bless you. I bought it for retro and I shipped it to
Excuse me.
him. But it was probably like 20 by 30.
That thing?
Yeah.
You bought it?
But I shipped it to Retro Bassin because he wanted it.
What did the signature say?
What is the
Like, who
like,
was the
I
name?
mean,
Did he sign it? Did he sign it to someone?
It was a print. I mean, it wasn't like a. So he try one of my latest creations, Tom Mann. That's what it says on there. But it was like something they would sell to
Dealers and such.
Yeah.
I think I bid on the same one that Retro Bassin has that he used to have as his backdrop, the Daiwa one with Clun and George Cochran. I think I bid against him on the eBay on that. Because as soon as I saw it, and then his channel like popped up, and I was like, oh, I tried to win that a couple years ago.
There are some gems out there. You've definitely got some people that are selling stuff. Like there was a guy there that it was like a jewelry seller most of the time, but he came across some fishing stuff. He actually bought the stuff from some North Carolina guy that fished on the FLW tour, and he said the name at the end, so I looked him up. I screenshotted or I might have deleted though. The guy's name was like Ryan Lewis or something. He had like, oh, here it is, Robert Lewis, Accokeek, Maryland. 13 events fished. What do you think his total lifetime winnings on FLW was in 13 events?
$1,200.
1,230. So he came across this guy's fishing lot and sold it. But it was crazy. Like he'd be holding up a crankbait, and like he'd hold up some super basic crankbait and sell it for $2 or $3, and then he'd be like, "Oh, your first time giveaway. Here's another one. Here's a." This one's kind of silly. I'll throw in this Risto wrap, and like, you bought this basic, Strike King crankbait. Oh, we'll throw in this beat up old. Yeah, it looks like a man's. It says 1- on the other side. They'll throw that one in. Oh, we'll throw in this. He had no idea what they were. So like it was like unbelievably the times he would just like this stuff. Yeah, Chris, you were there. Did you get a good giveaway? I feel like
it was worth buying something to see what he would throw in for free.
I did. I logged in with my Bass Tech account and bought something to try to get something thrown in for free.
Smart.
Chris, didn't you? I want to say Chris got the speed trap thrown in for free, but I could be wrong.
No way. A big one or a 1/8 ouncer?
It was hard. I mean, I don't know. What did you get, Chris? It was. I want to say you got one of the good ones.
Did you get a full size speed trap? I don't know that. Where is what?
All right. Well, we usually go for at least another 2 hours. So what do you want?
I would probably like to try and use the restroom and maybe
get ready for fishing.
Yeah. Maybe go to sleep.
Yeah. So we bought an Excalibur and the speed trap was for free. So I did get a XR50 Rayburn Red 1-knocker. I did pay $15 for it though.
For the jewelry guy?
Yeah.
You can sell that for
I think that's still the price for that crankbait.
Yeah, that's definitely, you did good.
I mean, if I wanted to flip it, I could probably get 40.
Probably. It's a 1/2 ounce?
Yeah. A 3/4 is probably a little more.
Or excuse me, 5/8. Isn't that the deal that the old one?
Isn't the new one 5/8? The Booyah's 5/8, but those were half, I thought.
Nah, I can't remember.
Bobby says he'll be selling OG speed traps.
I like them. I never always forget about them. And then I'll see one and be like, oh, I'll throw this.
Well, maybe you give me a couple of first cracks for those woolly hogs, Bobby. Yeah. One guy you could just like, it's like say he was giving away baits, and then like one of the was it yours, Chris? He's like, oh, here's a little silver cross for you.
You got a little
like,
piece of jewelry.
Yeah.
That's funny.
It's like he couldn't find a crankbait, so he's like, oh, I'll just throw this in.
That's the kind of stuff I like the weird like memorabilia kind of stuff. Like you said, like the posters and stuff like that. That kind of stuff's pretty cool. Dude on here now, FLW Tim, you know him?
Yeah, he'd be worth watching. You do have to wade through some of his like Guggen sales, but
yeah, I was about to say he has racks of Guggens.
But he has an amazing amount of tackle.
He's walking around his little shop,
like opening some of the old boxes he has. It's pretty staggering, and he's like, "Oh, this is like 10% of what I have."
And is this just at his house?
I think he's got a shop or something, but I don't know.
I mean, why's he got all this Guggen junk?
Well, I think a lot of that stuff he picked up on like clearance, like 10 cents on the dollar for like recent. He's the guy that has the Tom Mann posters as well.
He looks like he's giving Epic Eric a run for his money. I mean,
in quantity, he probably blows them out of the water, I would bet.
He's selling a Lucky Craft discontinued RC 2.5 right now. No, it's a 3.5.
In package or out of package? Yeah. So back in the day, he said he would on like anytime he would drop, he'd fly across the country and drive back for the right lots. Mm-hmm. But he recently drove down to Alabama because somebody had bought a lot of stuff from Mann's when it closed down, and then somebody else, and like he ended up getting it from like a jewelry store. But
that's interesting.
So he had some pogo shads and a lot of interesting stuff from the Mann's bait company for a while.
Yeah, they've been unloading all their stuff. It seems like lately, or a couple of years ago, they've been trying to get all their back stock out of there. Oh, that's the last thing I need to be doing is buying fishing lures.
Yeah, what you need to do is be selling fishing lures on there.
Yeah, but I don't like selling fishing lures. Then what would be on the wall?
You have to have some stuff that you like. Obviously, you're not pulling them off the wall, but like,
I mean, I have Planos down there, but they're all like. Some of them don't have any sentimental value, but some of them do. I don't know.
But you could sell it and you could stream it to whatnot and YouTube, and then like that could be like your therapeutic departure with some of the stuff that was kind of just fringe stuff, right? Like you're like, we talked about it, we're sending it off. It's on a video archive if I ever need to see it again.
Well, there's one thing that I bought a fair amount of that I never really jived with was the big fat-free shads. Like when I went to Kentucky Lake and fished, I caught them on it, but like outside of that, I never was in love with the fat-free shad. Yeah, and I've got tons of them over here, and I just didn't work. I mean, it works obviously, but it didn't work for me. I always liked the red eyes. I wish they would have put the red eyes in the non-suspending one. Do you like those?
I don't know. I never throw them up here.
What is that?
It's a custom painted DT14.
Who painted it? Looks Dwayne Beatty-ish.
Yeah. Not that. So you looked at that about how many seconds and you decided it was a Beatty?
Well, I could tell by the eyes and the smoky cheeks. The the sparkly crap on the side, I don't know what that's all about, but the other parts I could tell was his.
It's probably the time of the when I bought this, it
Gunmetal.
would have been when those Lucky Craft scale backs were popular. So I'm sure that's probably why it was a thing at that time.
You said, I need a crack DT, send it.
Yeah. There was a time I was almost on a trip to go to Mexico for to do a filming thing for this promotion, and it got canceled last minute. And I had bought a bunch of deep crankbaits for that trip to Mexico. Otherwise,
So you're gonna part?
Huh?
You gonna part with that?
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, I got a lot of fat breeds. Not a lot, but more than I need. But I've probably got like 25 super spooks. What do I need that many super spooks for?
I don't know, but I know a guy named Stearman that would bid on them. Yeah, you could, you know what? There'd be a way to bulk unload those bands.
Oh yeah, that might be new, but wouldn't that be kind of boring? I would have to sprinkle in something good in between spamming people with wacky bands.
We don't sell big game to moles, Brendan.
I told you, Josh talked to a guy. He said, I think I know somebody. And he talked to this dude over in Europe that sent me a spool of European 17-pound big game. And apparently they still sell it over there. And I received it, and I was really excited. And I felt it, and I said, this feels wrong. This doesn't feel like 17-pound big game that I remember. So I got out my little measurer, or I looked at the package to see what it measured out the diameter, and it ended up converting to being like 13-pound test diameter. So I use it for my small stuff if I need to.
Finesse cranking.
Yeah.
I don't have any Jackal DD squirrels, but I did see a lot that had some Jackal. Well, maybe those are squad minnows. But he was wanting like $15 a piece for Megabass.
Those aren't squirrels.
I mean, what is your attachment to DD squirrels?
No, those are MC60s, MRs. The 17 is way more rare. It's probably actually 17 in the US version is 7. Yes, probably accurate. Because their 20 is probably more like 30 and the 17 was probably a little more like 25. It was probably in between, is like 22.
All right. Let's see what the people say. Should TK sell old baits on what?
I've got 20 cases of Uncle Josh over there. What should I do with that? Sit on it. Let's see what the first box I pull is.
So far, it's about 90% yes. People want to see you sell baits on what?
Oh, this is the duds. Nobody wants these. If I sold them some dried up cans,
just go down to the Delta, dip it in the salt water, and recharge it.
Probably could. What's this one? A lot of these are just random stuff. Striper
Kyle
split
said he will avoid the stress of you going on Whatnot, and he will just sell direct to Kyle.
I mean, these are like mint, dude. It's a split tail trailer.
Don't you need those to the back of your snagless Sallies?
Yeah. I don't need 8 jars of them though. That's a lot. And it comes with the box. That's worth something, right?
Like Retro Bassin would like a box of that.
Oh, you know what's funny? Because I bought those in Austin right before Retro Bassin got there.
Suck it, retro.
Suck it, Retro. He would have walked in there and been like, "Oh, Holy Grail." Sorry.
Dustin wonders if you have any Straight King.
Yeah. I got the dusty ones, the Bohog with the diamond dust. You interested in that?
Look, you're already getting pre-bids.
Got those, the regular ones.
Dustin says any number 11s in the frog color.
That's what we use the most here, believe it or not. I have a flippin' frog in the frog color.
Number 11, black, blue, or purple, just DM me. First gen titanium spinnerbaits.
This one. I got some of the newer ones. Maybe I'll start whatnot with the Uncle Josh meat. Here's the mini frog, black and blue. There's the 11A, black and blue. These are all Mansons.
Somebody said they wanted some of those.
Number 23 kicker frog, black and blue.
Did you ever get into the Phantom craws? The ones that are actually shaped like craws?
Those I did not. Ooh, there's the Pro Cut Hank Parker's.
Ooh.
Those got to go for a lot.
I actually have caught fish in tournaments on these and did well.
I like pork frogs, dude.
Like circa 2003, 2004 was probably the last time I really leveraged pork in a tournament.
Yeah. I wouldn't. I'm not opposed to throwing pork. Took a bit on my meat.
There you go. Dustin needs some brown orange bohog. Maybe if Dustin just gets into the next bait drop, you could throw him in some bohog craw and brown orange for him.
Here's what I thought would be fun is that like this, it looks like a natural blue colored finesse worm, but this is just called the pork worm, and it's like 7 inches long. I think you could drop shot it.
Is it like a porco?
Yeah. It's a worm. It's just straight tail. And it's color F on the color selector.
You know, I just go straight smallmouth crush. Did I send you a picture? Because I bought a Facebook lot. Did you watch that video?
I don't know.
Maybe my $100 Facebook marketplace.
Oh yeah, I saw that one.
Did you see the smallmouth crush buff that was in
buff?
there?
Yeah, that was funny. Like I've got a bunch of little weird ones. Like this is just called.
Do you have a smallmouth crush buff?
I have like 50 of them. I blow my nose on them all the time. I like keep them in my truck, and that's like my snot rag. The pork chunk is just a pork chop, dude. Like it does nothing. I don't know what people use these for, but it's just a piece of pork. Yeah, I got some weird ones. I kept most of the weird ones and sold most of the normal stuff.
It's like a pork Ned rig.
Yeah, kind of.
You know what you do is you put that on a 16th ounce head, and you put forward facing sonar on, and you just kind of just shake it over their heads.
Pork chopping. Dude, I can see that working. Hey, dog, you ready to go outside?
Yeah, can I angel? I'll just fire up my whatnot stream and then just pull you in, and I'll hot sell on my account, and you can just drop ship it.
Like, hey, sell your stuff, dude. Still have your Mercury beanie. That's a good one. That's a good one. A Tacklecraft buff would be nice. I don't want people to be blowing their nose on my buffs and sending them out with their $100 lots on Facebook Marketplace.
I mean, that'd be a good buyer's giveaway to give away a smallmouth crush buff.
Oh yeah. Well, I probably got. I know I've got the stickers over here. I used to have a whole drawer full of.
Later, Hans. Oh, who's here? My dog's sleeping on the couch. I hear him snoring over there.
Huh?
My dog's sleeping on the couch. He's been snoring all night.
Yeah, big dog's been sleeping under my feet.
All right, we're gonna just keep this to a 3-hour stream.
We made
You're
it.
gonna get your stuff together, and you're gonna go fishing tomorrow.
Yeah, that's the plan.
I don't. You does not have the DD squirrels.
No, I just have the MC60s, MRs.
Yeah. Yeah. So
that's my
right,
only job.
I hope you enjoyed your jog down memory lane tonight.
I did. That was fun. Thank you for inviting me.
And we're gonna sign off. I think I'm probably gonna whatnot tomorrow afternoon for those that like to buy baits and listen to me talk about baits. That's probably mid-afternoon. I think it's scheduled for like 7:30 now, but I'm taking Laura out on a date tomorrow night. So yep.
She must have called think of your bathroom gals cards.
Can I borrow this for tomorrow night before the...
Yeah, don't get it dirty.
Awesome. Sounds good, dude. Appreciate it.
Enjoyed it. Thanks, everybody.
As always, here to help you guys catch more big ass and suck less and talk about old random fishing stuff. And someday we'll get TK on whatnot. So,
yes.
All right, everybody.
Adios.